Flanagan, the winningest pitcher in the major leagues, goes to work on Lansford. The right-hand batter swings and fouls it away. Just to the right of the plate in the seat. Lansford in the game last night had a base on balls, but he went 0 for 4. No score. This one's just started. Game number 2 in the American League Playoff Series. The left-handed pitches, slow curve, in close, 1-1, the count on Lansford. Dan Ford is waiting on deck. Outfield playing Lansford straight away. He's got good power. Here's the motion by Flanagan. The pitch swung on and fouled away in the seat, first base side. Flanagan won 23 and lost 9. He's a top choice to win the Cy Young Award in the American League. And this is his first appearance at a postseason championship game. He kicks and deals, and it is a curve in too close. 2-2. One out, nobody on, just underway in Baltimore's Memorial Stadium. Flanagan delivers again. There's a slow one outside, a breaking ball, 3-2. Cloudy skies this afternoon. The temperature is 75 degrees. Weatherman says it might rain tonight. Here's the full count delivery. Swing and a bounding ball. It's sharpened in second. Dauer has it. Go to Murray. Got him. 2 down.
And what wind there is seems to be blowing from right field toward left. Last night it blew the other way. Of course, the left-handed batters did not take advantage of that wind last night because Lowenstein's home run actually was sliced down the left field foul line. Of course, that wind blowing against the ball might have helped it stay fair.
I think that's probably what happened, Bill. And the outfields are just as happy there's no sun out right now. That right field is the sun field here in this ballpark. Here's Ford coming to bat. He was the toughest out in the Angel lineup last night. He had a home run in the first inning, a double in the third. Drove in 2 runs, and he went out the next 2 times. Right-hand hitting outfielder. Dan Ford at the plate. Flanagan left hand's one at the plate. It's a curve. It misses the inside corner. Flanagan, in his only start last year against the Angels, shut him out 3-0 on a 6-hitter.
Ford evidently a little bit upset with Rick Dempsey. Evidently Dempsey talking to Ford, and he backed out, pointed at Dempsey. Now he gets back in.
Waiting on the 1-0 delivery. He swings and tips it to the net of Dempsey. 1-1.
Some batters, Ernie, don't like to be distracted by anybody. Evidently, Dan Ford, one of those. Dempsey, of course, likes to chatter. And the more he can distract Mr. Ford with the home run and the double last night, the more he'll be chipping his teeth.
Ford got out and did some calisthenics. He's had some rib problems. Now he stepped out again just about the time that Flanagan got ready to pitch. We've got a little battle of nerves going on here, I think.
Between the catcher and the batter, and also between the batter and the pitcher.
1-1, the count on Ford. The right-hand batter waiting. The pitch is a slow curve. It's over, but it's low. 2-1. 2 out, nobody on. The game has just begun. California's bat against the Oriole left-handed Flanagan. Now he winds and pitches. There's a fastball outside. 3-1. Flanagan pitched that shutout against California here in Baltimore in July. His opponent is the same opponent that he has today, Dave Frost. He pitched once in relief against him also. Here's the pitch. Strike call, fastball over. That'll make it the full count on Dan Ford. Flanagan led the Baltimore staff in strikeouts with 190. And also in shutouts with 5. He rocks and pitches. Here's a fly ball into left field. It is deep, going back, maybe. It is out of here. And Ford gets another home run. He's hit 2 here in the first inning. 1 in each game, and each coming with 2 outs. 1-0 California.
And he got that one. Really got the ball out over the plate, a fastball. Flanagan tried to slip a number 1 by him, and he got it all. I think, the California Angels are going to have to beat up on the Baltimore Oriole pitching staff, which nobody really has done this year. I think they're going to have to score a lot of runs. They had averaged about 5.3 runs a ball game, and in order to beat Baltimore, obviously they're going to have to score at that rate.
Here's Baylor up now. He went without a hit last night. Don was 0 for 4. Right-hand batter takes a breaking pitch into close, ball 1. So it's a duplication of last night's first half of the first inning. With 2 out, Ford hits a home run. California leads 1-0. Baylor hits a long foul fly back over toward third base. 1-1 the count on Don. All during the season, Ford did not hit a home run against Baltimore pitching.
Setting them up for the postseason play.
I guess that's the way you do it, isn't it?
Yep.
Flanagan ready to go to work. Delivers. Baylor swings and misses on a change. 1-2. Downing is waiting on deck for the Angels. They have the early lead, 1-0. Here's the kick of the pitch. He takes a ball low, 2-2. Outfield bent a little bit toward left, and they're sort of bunching toward the middle on Baylor, giving him the lines in the right and left field corners. Here's the pitch. Swinging a bounding ball. Foul just outside of first base.
That ball would have been in the corner for at least a double for Don Baylor.
He hit it sharply, too.
And they've got Murray playing well off the line at first. Baylor normally, although he hits straightaway, very seldom slices this ball down the right field line.
Now Flanagan, the left-hander, works again. Baylor takes, that is low, ball 3, full count again. Well, he went to 3-2 on Ford and lost him big. Let's see what he does with Baylor. Don steps back in to wait on the full count delivery. Flanagan started and stopped his windup. Now he's ready. He pitches. Here's a swing and a high fly ball, short left center. Bumbry coming in. He's there. It's in his glove and the side retired. 1 run on 1 hit, the home run by Ford. No errors, nobody left at the end of a half inning. California won, and the Orioles are coming to bat.
Angels set up with Lansford at third, Anderson the shortstop, Bobby Grich at second, and Rod Carew at first. They have the left fielder, Bobby Clark, up from Salt Lake. They got him up in August. Rick Miller in center, and Dan Ford, who's had a fine series these first 2 games with 2 home runs and a double, is out in right field. Brian Downing, of course, behind the plate. Well, Ernie, you mentioned this ball game starting off the same way as it started off last night. Of course, California wants to score more than 3 runs.
Yeah, they do. But they did get 1 in the first, and they got it the same way they got it last night. So we'll see if Ford can keep his hitting assault against Baltimore pitching and see what Mr. Frost can do, because the Orioles think he's a pretty tough pitcher.
Well, he's been tough against him. Beat him a couple of times this year, lost to him. You mentioned with Flanagan shutting him out here in Baltimore by a score 3-0.
Earl Weaver's got that radar gun. You know, somebody said Frost is sneaky fast. He says, nobody's sneaky when I've got that gun on him. I know how fast they throw. Well, here's Bumbry. He's leading it off for the Orioles. 1-0 California. Last half of the first inning. And the plate umpire, Dale Ford, wants to inspect the baseball right away. Bumbry had 0 for 4 in the opening game of this playoff series. Left-hand batter, the third baseman, Lansford, playing in a little bit close on Bumbry. He's not quite ready to step in there against Dave Frost, F-R-O-S-T. Frost with 16 wins and 10 defeats in the season. And the right-hander ready to go into action. He delivers. Here's a curve that's outside. Starting him off for the hook. Rhythmic applause getting started early by these enthusiastic Oriole fans. And the right-hander pitches a fastball. Bounding ball, gloved beautifully by Lansford. Gets up, throw to first, safe. Great play by Lansford, but he couldn't get the ball over in time to Carew. It'll be a single.
Excellent play. Last, although he did not get his man, really saved an extra base hit. That would have been at least a double for Al Bumbry. Another fine play here by the California Angels defensively.
Here's Kiko Garcia now, the shortstop who didn't see action in the ball game in the starting lineup last night. Hit 247 for the Orioles over the season, 5 home runs and 24 runs batted in. Makes his home in Walnut Creek, California. And he's been with the Orioles since '76. Right-handed hitter, man on first, 1-0 California leading. And DeFrost lobs one over to first to keep Bumbry close over there.
Bumbry has stolen 37 bases so far this year.
He's trying to get a little bit of a lead now. Edges off a little more. And DeFrost saddles the slab and then fires one over to Carew. Here's the set. The runner doesn't go. The pitch is in tight. Kiko had the most triples on this Baltimore club. He had a total of 9. Trying to get a lead again, draws a throw, gets back with a head-first slide. And Carew steps out in front of the bag and tosses the ball back to his pitcher, Dave Frost. Another throw to first. He's back safely.
Bumbry takes a big lead there off Frost, and he sort of doesn't feel he's going to get picked off. Really takes a big lead.
He's edging off again. He lengthens that lead. He's going. The pitch is taken. It's a ball throw to second. He is safe at second base. Anderson, the shortstop, covered. Couldn't get the tag down in time.
That time,
steal for Bumbry.
Ernie, Dave Frost did not stop Al Bumbry. He let him walk and start. Louis Aparicio used to like to do that. Take a walking lead and just keep going. If Frost had held the ball a little bit, stopped Bumbry, his catcher, Brian Downing, would have had a better shot at him.
So Kiko gets back into the batter's box now. Man on second for Baltimore. The California Angels lead them 1-0 in the first inning. And the pitch jams him. It's ball 3 to Garcia. Alfonso Rafael Garcia, nicknamed Kiko by his grandmother when he was a baby. Spanish diminutive. Here's the set and the pitch. He takes a walk. Ball 4.
Well, right away, Dave Frost in trouble, giving up the infield hit to Al Bumbry. Bumbry stealing second base. Garcia not at first. That sets it up for Ken Singleton. This guy is tough with men on base.
So they've got the infield in double play depth against Ken. He had a walk in the victory for Baltimore last night. Did not get a hit. Struck out, flied out, and lined out. Batting left-handed against Dave Frost. And the California right-handed pitches. It is a ball low. Carew with the left-hand batter up will play off the bag and deep at first base. Garcia at first, Bumbry at second base, each trying to get a lead. Here's the set for the right-hander Frost, and he pitches. It's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. The young left fielder Clark has been moved over towards center a little bit and away from the left field line a couple of paces. Singleton stands deep, spreads out just slightly. Now Frost looks him over, gets the sign from Downing. 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled upstairs, out of play. Frost is a native of Long Beach, California. He still lives there. Got his start in college as a relief pitcher. And then when he got the pro ball, became a starter. California picked him up, along with Downing and Knapp, in the Bobby Bonds deal with the Chicago White Sox. Here's the pitch. Swing and a bounding ball to short, maybe 2. Addison over to Grich for 1. Relay to Carew, and it is a double play for California.
And that was tailor-made. The one thing that Ken Singleton does not do is run well. Anytime he hits the ball on the ground with the man at first base, it's almost a sure double play. But he does all the other phases of baseball extremely well. Well, the double play gets that Baltimore runner Bumbry to third base. And
Eddie Murray has the job to try to deliver him home. 1-0 California leading on the Dan Ford home run in the opening inning. Outfield deep and around the right on Murray. Another switch batter who'll be batting left-handed. He struck out twice and walked twice in the game last night. Waiting on Frost. Now Ed steps in, leaning over, bending the knees, and backs away from a high, tight one under the chin. Well, California picked up a couple of double plays, one in the 6th, one in the 7th inning last night, and they've already had one here in the opening inning of this game. 1-0, California leads. Frost getting his sign from Downing, ready for action again. Here it comes. Swing, base hit, center field, game tied, Bunker scores. A line shot over the bag at second. Murray gets his first hit of the series and delivers a run to tie the game 1-1.
That's what Baltimore's done all year. If one guy doesn't get to the other guy does. And they've really been able to pick each other up. Singleton, Murray, then Weaver's used guys like Kelly and Lowenstein, and when he's used them, they've forced it out. I think Weaver calls it deep depth.
Yeah, deep depth. Well, the ovation is for Lowenstein, the hero of the dramatic victory last night, when he hit that 3-run homer in the 10th inning, and they are still giving him a standing ovation. He batted 254 over the regular season with 11 home runs, and takes a high, slow pitch outside.
No, Ernie, that was not a bad pitch that Lowenstein hit off Montague. It was a fork ball. The first two were fork balls to strike, and then Montague wanted to get it down. It was up a little bit, but it was out over the plate.
And he hit a slicing drive. It sort of hugged the line. The wind held it up, and it got in the seat. The pitch to Lowenstein is low. 2-0, the count on the much-traveled Lowenstein. He came to this ball club on waivers from the Texas League. That was a great pickup for Baltimore. And he takes the fastball high, 3-0. Lowenstein's pinch-hit home run last night was the first ever hit in the 11 years of American League playoff history. Last year in the National League, Jerry Martin and Dick McBride hit the pinch home run. Here's the pitch, and he takes the strike. 3-1, the count on him. We've got a 1-1 deadlock here in the opening inning, each team getting a run in the first. Murray edging off at first, draws a throw, he gets back safely. Here's the set by Frost. He delivers. Lowenstein slices a foul out of play on the third base side into the mezzanine. Sun's out now, coming through the overcast. Another capacity crowd here in Memorial Stadium, Baltimore. Lowenstein steps away from the plate. Left-hand batter waiting. It is a 3-2 pitch coming up from Frost. Here it is. He takes a walk, ball 4. That will be the second walk of the inning off Frost. And now Pat Kelly, ready to step up.
And Jim Fregosi going on. Jim walking. So I think Jim here, and he wants to just calm his youngster Dave Frost down a bit. His first appearance, of course, in the American League Championship Series post-season play, and he's walked 2 in this inning, giving up a run. And Fregosi realizing that, and Jim is a very low-key type manager. He's just out there. He wants to tell Dave Frost, hey, this is just another ball game, although it really isn't another ball game. He wants to tell him that anyway, and he hopes that maybe he can get him to thinking that way and throw the ball over the plate.
They're having their little confab out there, and now Pat Kelly is waiting. Pat scored a run in the 4th inning of the game last night when he walked, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and scored on the sacrifice. He had a single in the 6th inning, and his batting record ended up with a 1 hit officially and 3 trips. He is the DH this afternoon. And Earl Weaver using Lowenstein in left field where Kelly played last night. Well, the confab is over. Mr. Pergosi has returned to the safety of the dugout. 2 men on for Baltimore, 2 men out. First inning, the game tied 1-1. Here's Pat Kelly. And they're playing Pat just about straight away, the infield back. And the pitch, left-hand batter takes the ball outside. He stands very close to the plate. Dave Frost, the California right-hander, to the set position, delivers. Here's a ball high to Kelly, 2-0. Any certain pattern to his wildness? He's been high most of the time, hasn't he?
I think basically, Ernie, it's just nervousness, and that's why Jim Fregosi went out there. He did not intend to take him out because he's got nobody warming up in the bullpen. But he just wants to calm him down and say, hey, just throw the ball over the plate and let your other people help you. Now somebody gets up and starts throwing.
Kelly's ahead. He's got a 2-0 pitch coming up from Dave Frost. Here it is. He takes a strike outside corner. Bill, isn't that first inning a tough inning for a lot of pitchers because especially on a strange mound?
And not only that, Ernie, just this situation. You know, for all these guys, you're nervous until you either swing the bat once or catch a ball. All-Star games the same way. World Series same way.
2-1 pitch. He swings. There's a base hit. That's to the field. Here comes the run-in. Stopping at second. Tony Lowenstein. Murray came in to score, and it is 2-1 Baltimore. Kelly delivers an RBI single.
And Mark Clear is now throwing in the California Angel bullpen. Walked Urch, and they certainly will. Look like, though, that the big fella, Dave Frost, got out of this inning when he got Ken Singleton to bounce into a double play. But then, after brushing Murray back, Murray singled to center to tie the ball game. Then he walked Lowenstein, and, of course, Kelly just coming through.
Clear at work in the bullpen, and here's DeCinces at the plate. Doug ended up with 1 for 3 plus the sacrifice last night. Baltimore leading 2-1 in the opening inning. Frost is ready to pitch, but he did not realize that Ford, the plate umpire, had already called time. So he stopped in the middle of his motion. 3 hits now for the Orioles, wrapped around a couple of walks in that double play. 2 men on, 2 men out. Swing and a high foul that'll drift out of play, third base side. And the overcast again is obscuring the sunshine here in Baltimore. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Orioles. 1 run, 1 hit for California. They got a home run from Ford just as they did last night in the opening inning with 2 outs. Put them out in front. The Orioles have captured the lead here with a 2-run rally. Here's the set and the pitch. It is a strike on the outside corner just above the knees. He came sidearm that time.
For the first time in the ball game, he almost fell off the mound.
First time he's thrown that way. Well, he's got 2 quick strikes now on Doug DeCinces. Doug stepping away from the plate. Frost looking in to get his sign. Lowenstein at second, Kelly at first base. And it is an outside fastball. 1-2, the count on DeCinces. Outfield plays him straight away and in about normal depth. Plays a 2-tone bat across the plate. Dark on the barrel, white at the handle. Waiting on a 1-2 delivery. Swing, there's a little loop in the right field. It'll be in for a base hit. Lowenstein rounding third. He's coming home to score. The throw goes back over the head of the shortstop Anderson, and here comes Kelly to score. Down to second goes the batter DeCinces. Baltimore leads it 4-1.
And the Angels having a bit of trouble here on that line drive to right field. Ford got it. He's trying to throw it into second base. And Jim Anderson, the shortstop, threw it over Anderson's head. And Lansford, the third base, went out and got the ball. Then he tried to throw home to get back. it'll be a run batted in for DeCinces, and they'll have to give Dan Ford, the right fielder, an error on the throw, and that allows Kelly to score. So the Orioles breaking this ball game open here in the bottom half of the first inning.
And all that, Bill White, despite the double play that the Angels came up with. Here's Dauer stepping in now. Man on second base, 2 down. Here's the pitch. He swings. It's a bounding ball to third. Gloved by Lansford. Throw to first, and he's out. Pep retires the side. But it is a big inning for Baltimore. They get 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 California error, 1 Oriole left, and at the end of 1, Baltimore 4, California 1.
Well, the Orioles picking up 4 runs, bottom of the first, lead this ball game by a score of 4-1. Reminds you a little bit of last night when the California Angels tied the ball game in the third inning on the drop pop-up by Bobby Grich. Of course, the error here only allowed 1 extra run to score, but in a short series like this, best 3 out of 5, every 1 run certainly counts. And I think that's the one thing with Baltimore. Ernie, we talk about their pitching, and they do not beat themselves. They play pretty tight defense most of the time.
They know the fundamentals, and they're able to execute them. Now, here's Downing at the plate. The right-handed batting catcher takes a fastball from the left-handed Flanagan. It's in 2 close, ball 1 on Brian Downing. Downing did not get a hit last night. He bounced out 3 times, and he popped up to third. Open stance, right-handed batter. Swings, and it's a high foul. It will be out of play on the right field side. 1-1 on Brian Downing. Orioles 4 runs, 4 hits. California 1 run, 1 hit. The second inning getting underway. Flanagan ready to go to work again. The pitch is swung on a broken bat. Ground ball to Kiko Garcia. The shortstop flips it over to Murray in time. 1 up and 1 away. Bobby Grich will be the batter now, the ex-Oriole, who had a double and a walk, ended up with 1 for 3 in the game last night. And moving the outfield around to right on him. Flanagan, the left-hander, winds and pitches. Hits the ball outside. Here's a fly hit to right field. It'll be out of play. Earl Weaver got in the spot last night. They didn't have any stats on Montague when he came in. He had to call upstairs, get Charlie, the stat man, Charlie Steinberg, I believe his name is, to hustle up the stats, and it was touch and go there before they got the stats on Montague. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Well, like he's pitching him outside, Bill.
He is pitching away, and that's why they're playing him that way in the outfield. Pitch away, play away. And about those stats, as soon as he got them, he found out that Lowenstein was 2 for 2 against Montague. He didn't have because Montague had pitched earlier with Seattle.
Right. Now, Grich is waiting. The pitch is outside again. He missed the far corner with that one. Left fielder Bob Clark waiting at the on-deck circle. Wind up and the pitch. Change up that floats in high. Full count on him. Orioles lead California 4-1. 1 out for the Angels. They're batting in the second inning. Nobody on base. Now time called by Dale Ford, the plate umpire. Here's the motion. Here's the pitch. Swinging the bounding ball to Kiko Garcia at shortstop. He short-hopped it, flips it over to first in time. 2 down, nobody on, and here comes Clark, who will play left field against left-hand pitching. He's in there this afternoon. He did not play last night. He hit .296 over the season, had 1 home run and 5 runs batted in, appearing in 19 games. 6 strike call. He's a native of Sacramento, California. Mixed his home in Paris, California. There's a breaking ball over. 2 strikes on Clark. Here was his first at California. Now the left-hander Flanagan deals again, and Clark swings and misses And at the end of 1.5 innings, Baltimore 4, California 1. The Pittsburgh.
Well, I don't know what Strod's do for you, Ernie. We've seen here what the Strod's done so far for the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm sure that when this series moves to California tomorrow, those Angel fans will be behind their ball club the same way these Oriole fans, obviously here, are behind the Baltimore Orioles.
Well, we'll find out. We'll be out there tomorrow. And right now, Rick Dempsey leading off for the Orioles. The Birds have a 4-1 lead over the Angels going into the last half of the second inning. Dempsey, the right-hander, against right-hander Dave Frost. And he taps one slowly toward first base. Carew makes the play unassisted on the check swing. Easy out, and there's one up and one down on one pitch. So here's the top of the batting order coming up again for Baltimore. Al Bumbry singled and started that 4-run surge for the Orioles. Frost waiting for Bumbry to get into the batter's box. Dave Frost, a product of Stanford University, played basketball and baseball there, got a degree in political science, and came into the White Sox system in 1974, breaking in with Sarasota that year. Here's the pitch to Bumbry, and he takes the curve outside. He wants Mr. Ford to inspect the baseball. Ford does. He says it's good enough to keep in play. 4 runs and 4 hits for the Orioles in that opening inning. Murray, Kelly, and DeCinces picked up RBIs. Here's a fastball in too close, 2-0. 2 walks helped the Oriole cause. And the Angels looked for a while as if they might stymie the rally potential as they came up with a double play, but it didn't stop them. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It is low, ball 3.
And he'll get in trouble again here should he walk Al Bumbry, because Al's always a threat to steal. You want to get the little guys out. The big guys get up there, nobody's on.
3-0 pitch, and he did it. He walked him. 1-out walk to Bumbry. That's the third issued by the California right-hander Frost. Here comes Kiko Garcia, who drew the first walk of the ball game in the first inning.
And with Bumbry there, the first baseman, Carew has to hold him on. The catcher, of course, wants more fastballs, and the shortstop, second baseman, they have got to sort of watch the pitch, watch Bumbry, see if he's going. Of course, the pitcher also has a lot of problems speed gives you when you're on the defense.
Over there to first, Bumbry got back in time. The Angels have now lost 4 in a row in this ballpark, and they're 1-6 here this year. Here's a ball low. 1-0, the count on Garcia. Now Bumbry trying to get a lead. Carew holding on the bag with him. 1 on and 1 out. He doesn't go. The pitch is a strike on the inside corner. The big right-hander up on the mound to check his sign with Downing. Singleton is waiting on deck. Here's another throw to first. He's back in time. Wind seems to have subsided somewhat here. We've got overcast skies in Baltimore now. Runner doesn't go. He faked going, and the pitch was high and in close. Sort of a change-up that time. 2-1, the count on Kiko Garcia. Now Bumbry trying to establish the lead off first. Draws another throw. He's back safely. There he goes. The pitch is swung on, and now Downing tries to drop it. Downing trying to get away with something there, but Larry McCoy, Dale Ford, the home plate umpire, will not let him eat. He foul tipped the ball. Downing caught it, saw he could not get the ball out of the glove, and after Bumbry slid into second base, Downing decided to drop the ball to try to get the foul, but
I tell you, Dale Ford right on it. Wouldn't let him get away with it.
Yeah, the roost didn't work that night. He gave the sign right away, and Bumbry gets his second steal. So it's a 2-2 count on Kiko Garcia. It is a fastball outside. He sidearmed him. 3-2. And Clear begins to warm up again for the Californians. They had him up in the opening inning, working in the bullpen. Here's a bounding ball, deep second base, off the glove of Grich. Rounding third is Bumbry. He'll come in to score. Garcia takes the third. It is 5-1 Orioles. It'll be a single. Grich did not play the ball very well. He went over, tried to backhand it, and it bounded off his glove.
And here comes Jim Fregosi. We mentioned earlier that Bobby hurt his back trying to pick up an air conditioner, and it cut down on his lateral movement and his mobility. It obviously has not hurt him this year, at least swinging the bat, but I think it's cut down on his range. Now Fregosi going out, and he wants the right-hander, Mark Clear, to come on here, and that'll be all for Dave Frost. So Frost leaves. Obviously, he never could find his groove here. As Ernie mentioned, he gave up the single to Bumbry. The infield hit. Bumbry stole second. The walk to Garcia. Then the double play. Looked like he might be out of this inning, but then Murray singled in a run. He walked Lowenstein. The single by Kelly near by the right fielder. Dan Ford allowed Kelly to score. And after DeCinces hit the single to right, that scored Lowenstein. Fregosi came out then but went back. But this time, when he goes back, he's going to take Dave Frost with him. So Mark Clear coming on now. And Dave Frost is leaving. With Baltimore ahead by a score of 5-1. We're still playing the bottom half of the second inning here at Memorial Stadium. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS radio network. Well, Baltimore really striking, and it's tough in, it seems, Ernie Hartwell, in a series or in a championship series to come back. California, obviously, they have the tools and the power to come back and score a lot of runs, but just about everybody feels that this Baltimore pitching staff might be overall the best in baseball.
And today, Earl Weaver led with his ace after getting the victory and starting Jim Palmer last night, getting the victory from Stanhouse in relief. And now he's got his ace in there, and Clear has come on in to take his tune-up tosses and see what he can do. CBS Radio has a sport for all seasons on most of these stations. With the League Championship Series you're listening to now, plus the World Series starting October the 9th. Throughout the fall and winter, it's the National Football League action. And in the spring, it's the Masters Golf Tournament. Come summer, baseball's All-Star Game, the U.S. Tennis Open, and much more all year long. Listen here for your favorite sports events on CBS, your #1 radio network for news, programs, and sports.
Mark Clear was 11-5 during the season for the California Angels. He picked up 14 saves. Normally, a guy like that you use late. But I think it shows the condition of Jim Fregosi's pitching staff. He's got him in now, needs him now to try to put the stopper on the Baltimore offense.
Ken Singleton will be the first man to test this youngster, young right-hander. And the runner goes. The pitch is swung on and hit high and foul out of play. Garcia is sent on that first pitch. Probably a pretty good move with the Clear coming in, trying to get adjusted.
And he's got to throw the fastball, and you've got your batter Singleton swinging if it is a fastball, and he fouled it off.
Singleton hit into double play the first time, too. That's another reason that we like to see that runner going on a situation like that. And the pitch to Ken is a strike call. Clear got a hard curve on the inside corner. This is his first year with the Angels. Appeared in 52 games, a little more effective in the early part of the year than he was in the last part of it. Big right-hander delivers, and Singleton takes the high one outside. 1-2. Baltimore leads 5-1. They're batting in the second inning. Dave Frost, the starting pitcher for California, has left the premises now, and Mark Clear is on the mound. Here's a ball low. 2-2, almost a weather report. Frost followed by Clear. holding on the bag over there first base with Garcia. Kiko edges off just slightly. Sigland waits on a 2-2 delivery. Here it comes. He swings at the bounding ball to right. It'll be a hit. In the field, the ball comes forward. Garcia racing for third. Here's the throw to third. Not in time. He's in safely. Runners at first and third with one down.
And Baltimore continues to hit the baseball. That's their sixth base hit in this ballgame. A lot of people talk about Baltimore's pitching, but they forget that these guys also have some pretty good hitters. And they forget also that only two teams in the American League hit more home runs than this Baltimore Orioles team.
Well, Earl Weaver used to say we beat them with good pitching and the long ball. Here's Murray up now. The infield and double play depth. Man at first, man at third. Murray had a single in the first inning and drove home the first Baltimore run. That was his first hit in the two games. Man at first, man at third. 5-1 Baltimore leading. Here's the set for the youngster Mark Clear. And he pitches. There's a long run way back, and it is gone. Three-run homer for Murray. 8-1 Baltimore. That one. No doubt. It was gone as soon as it touched the bat. Now Lowenstein at the plate, and these fans won't sit down. They won't stop yelling. 8-1, the Orioles lead it. Clear delivers, and the left-hand batting Lowenstein takes the ball in the dirt. 8 runs on 7 hits for Baltimore. California 1 run on 1 hit. And nobody on, second inning. Strike called on Lowenstein. Clear got a fastball in the letters. Here's the windup by Clear. He deals. It is a curve around the ankles. 2-1 on Lowenstein. Lowenstein walked in the opening inning. The kick, the pitch. He swings and taps the foul. It bounces up into the seat. A young man in an Orioles t-shirt got that one, and he's about as happy as anybody could be. 2-2, the count on Lowenstein. Clear ready, winds, delivers. Here's a swing and a miss. He got him on the changeup. Clear gets his first strikeout, and the batter will be Pat Kelly. With a single his only time at bat, he drove a home a run in that first inning. Well, the Birds had picked up 4 runs in each of the first 2 innings. They've got an 8-1 lead. They're batting in the second, but 2 out of the bases empty. Outfield pulled around to right on Pat Kelly. Clear delivers. It's a strike call. Mark Clear is the nephew of the coach of the Angels, Bob Clear, who worked with him and got the Angels finally to sign him after he'd been released in the minors. Here's a pitch low, and the count even on Kelly, 1-1. Here's the windup and the pitch. He takes a ball low. 2 out, nobody on. 2-1 on Pat Kelly. 8-1, Baltimore leads California. Kelly takes strike outside corner. 2-2 the count on Pat. Well, the Phils first signed Mark Clear. They released him. He was 0-7 at Pulaski. He came back, worked with his uncle and some other folks around, and then the Angels picked him up and sent him to the minors. There's a strike call, and Kelly lifted 1 too many. He's called out on strike. So Clear settles down, gets 2 strikeouts, but there's been big damage by the Baltimore bat. As in the second inning, they get 4 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors, nobody left. At the end of 2 in Baltimore, the Orioles 8, California 1.
Well, tomorrow the championship series moves on to Anaheim, and the California Angels will use Frank Tanana. They have already sent Tanana home, and he's probably listening to this ball game. He won 7, lost 5 this year for California, coming off a serious arm injury. And the Baltimore Orioles will counter with Denny Martinez. Well, it's 8-1 Orioles. 4 in the bottom of the first, 4 more in the bottom half of the second. And the California Angel run coming on a home run by Dan Ford, his second home run in 2 days. But it's been all Baltimore so far, and they certainly have lived up to their billing. Ernie?
Yes, sir, they have done that, Bill White, and the Angels now have to do something about it because they have a 7-run deficit that they face as they come to bat of the third against Mike Flanagan. Rick Miller will lead it off. Rick was the leadoff hitter last night and had 1 hit in 5 trips to the plate. Left-handed batter swings, a ground ball hit to Garcia. The shortstop charges, gloves it for the first. He got him. 4 assists by the shortstop for Baltimore, Kiko Garcia, here in 2 1/3 innings. And speaking of shortstops, here comes the California representative at that position, Jim Addison, right-hand batter. Addison went 0 for 4 in the game last night. 8 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Baltimore. California 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error. Flanagan serves a fastball in too close. Ball 1. Outfield on Addison is a little bit to right in the infield back. He takes a strike and above the knees. Flanagan's fast one. 4 in the first for Baltimore, 4 in the second for Baltimore, 1 in the first for California. That's the story here in the early going. 1-1 pitch. Addison cuts and misses. Ball broke in on the hand. Addison steps out. Flanagan taking his time out there on the mound. 1 out and nobody on. Here's a change-up curve that floats outside. 2-2. Well, the only California hit's a home run by Dan Ford in the opening inning. Addison cuts it, a ground ball foul outside of third. Flanagan, from a baseball family, his granddad, Ed Sr., was a professional. His dad, Ed Jr., was in the Red Sox system. There's a bounding ball to Kiko Garcia again. He has the hop. Guns it over to first to Murray. Got him, and there are 2 down.
Well, the rap with Garcia is that he is erratic at shortstop. But as you mentioned, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assists for him. He's handled them well, replacing Mark Belanger at shortstop.
And here's the man that he threw out at the start of the ball game, Rod Carew, who broke his bat, hit a little slow grounder to Kiko. Left-handed batting Carew at the plate against the left-handed Flanagan. And Rod takes a strike on the outside corner. Well, they're starting around for the second time now in the California batting order. Carew takes a change-up curve that hits the mark. Strike 2. Here's a wide curve outside. 1 and 2 on the Rod. Very relaxed at the plate, Rod Carew, waiting. The pitch is swung on and tapped on a hop to Dauer at second. He flips it over to Murray. And they go down 1, 2, 3 in the California third. We go to the last half of the third. The Baltimore 8, the Angels 1.
Ernie?
Well, Doug DeCinces is going to lead off here. The Orioles have a commanding advantage in this one, 8-1, going into the last half of the third inning. Frost started, relieved by Clear in the second inning. Clear gave up a single to Singleton, then a home run to Murray, but struck out the next 2 batters. And now starts the last half of the third against Doug DeCinces. Doug had a single in the first. That was off the starting pitcher, Frost. And the right-hander Clear delivers. DeCinces takes a breaking ball low and away, ball 1. field is straight up on Doug DeCinces. Here's a big curve. That one had a lot on it. It grabbed the outside corner. Doug steps out, says a word or two to the plate umpire, Dale Ford. And Clear looks him over. The 1-1 delivery. Fastball wide, 2-1. Rich Dauer and Rick Dempsey will be the next batters. They've got the 3 Ds down here in the last part of the batting order. Here's a ball outside. He checked his swing, 3-1. DeCinces, Dauer, and Dempsey, the bottom 3 in Earl Weaver's lineup. 3-1 now, the count on DeCinces. Nobody on, nobody out. 8-1 Baltimore, 3rd inning. There's a little tap rolling toward 3rd. It'll go foul. Bill White, when you get behind 8-1 in a big game like this, as a player, what would your reaction be? It's got to be pretty discouraging.
Well, you'd like to play it like it was 0-0. You'd like to. I think what happened, that you go up and you try to hit a home run every time up, and that's when you go away from the things you normally do. What they should be doing, or what they would like to do, is set the table for a guy like Baylor, and a guy like Ford, and a guy like Grich, instead of the little guys going up trying to hit the home run.
Got a couple bunches going and cash in, eh? 3-2 pitch. He fouls it away. Back with the screen.
Well, the players say, let's get them back one at a time. Of course, that means getting men on base, getting the single. Maybe somebody hit one out, but you can't hit 7-run home runs.
8-1, that's the score. Baltimore leads. DeCinces takes in too close. He walked him. That was a fastball, and it moved him back. It's the first walk issued by Clear. It's the 4th pass given the Baltimore batters here in less than 3 innings. Here's Rich Dauer. He ended the first inning with a bounce out to third baseman Lansford. Carew holding on the bag with a run over their first base DeCinces. There's a ball outside. Good stop by Downing, diving to his right. The big man for Baltimore here in the early going has been Eddie Murray with a single and a home run. He's knocked in 4 runs. Mark Clear on the mound. Clear. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and popped foul. Back of the plate. Here comes Downing. Got a late start. He makes the catch. And back to first goes the runner DeCinces.
Well, the Orioles playing very, very aggressively here. They're running everybody. You don't often use a DeCinces to move, but that's the kind of baseball I think Earl Weaver plays. Once he starts you on the downhill side, he keeps coming at you, and that's why a lot of people don't like him. You know, you figure you got a 7-run lead, you should just go out and play normal baseball, but that isn't Weaver's way.
No, and I think a lot of managers don't feel that way now. They like to go get him because you never know what that come from behind team might do. Sparky Anderson says play every inning like it's a separate game. Here's Rick Dempsey now. He's 0 for 1. He bounced to first base on a little check swing. Starting the 2nd inning. Right-hand batting catcher takes the strike. That was a fastball from Clear, up about letter high. 8 runs, 7 hits for Baltimore. 1 run, 1 hit for California. It's the 3rd inning in Memorial Stadium, Baltimore. Backed him off, and the count is 1-1. Well, this big crowd had a lot to cheer about in the first couple of innings. They're rather silent at the moment. There's a curve. It is low and in a little close. 2-1 the count on him. Sun's trying to get through that overcast again. Man on first, DeCinces. Pitch is swung on, a looping drive to left. Here comes Clark digging, and he makes the catch on the run toward the diamond. He ran out from under his cap, but he grabbed the baseball. DeCinces has to retreat and hold it first.
Well, the footing is a little bit better this afternoon, Ernie, rather than last night when a couple of the Angels felt that they could have made plays had it not been for the bad footing here. Harry Hartle felt he might have been able to get to Dempsey's double off the wall, although I very much doubt it.
Yeah.
And Bobby Grich felt that the slow footing might have hurt him getting to that pop-up.
Here's the Bumbry up now for the third time in 3 innings. He's had a single or a walk. He's scored each time he's been up. And the left-handed batter takes a slow curve, low, ball 1. That's a fly ball picked off by Clark as the first outfield put out for the Angels. Now Clear, the right-hand reliever, sets and deals one over to first to Carew, and DeCinces back in time. Sets, holds it at the belt, and delivers. Here's a fly ball to center. Coming hard is Miller. He can't get it. Drops in front of him. He bobbles it. It goes behind him. DeCinces goes to third. Safe at first for the single will be Bumbry.
Miller made a fine try for that. Got a good jump. He's excellent outfielder. Just couldn't get to it. He's fortunate that he got part of his body on it so that it didn't get by him too far. Had it done that, DeCinces, of course, would have scored all the way from first base.
And there's no error charge. They figure maybe that the runner would have reached third base anyway. So here's Kiko Garcia batting. It gives Bumbry his second hit. He's 2 for 2. Eddie Murray is 2 for 2. And the hit total for Baltimore has reached 8. Garcia's had a walk and a single so far. Man at first, man at third. He takes a high outside fastball. Ball 1 on Kiko Garcia. Outfield plays him straight up, and the infield is back now. 8-1 Baltimore. There's a bounding ball off the leg of Clear, bounds into right center field. In the score comes DeCinces. Bumbry taking third. 9-1, the Orioles lead it. 2 for 2 for Garcia.
And just about everybody contributing with the exception of Rich Dauer and Rick Dempsey. They are really hitting the baseball. That's their 9th base hit, and we're still in the 3rd inning.
That was a hard smash. It seemed to hit the Clear on the foot, or maybe it hit the slab. I'm not sure. Anyway, it took a big hop. Bounced into right center field for a single. And here comes Singleton. He's hit into a double play and had a single. 9 runs on 9 hits for the Orioles. Man at first, man at third. Singleton swings and with a high fly to short left. Clark coming in. He's there now and makes the catch near the line. And that will retire the Orioles in the 3rd. But they got a walk and 2 singles, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, lead 2. And at the end of 3, Baltimore 9, the Angels 1.
The opening game of the World Series will be at the American League City on Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The opening game of the World Series, it'll be brought to you by Ben Scully, Sparky Anderson, who is now the skipper of the Detroit Tigers, and also Win Elliott. So on Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, the opening game of the World Series, it'll be in the American League City. The way things going now, looks like it might be Pittsburgh against Baltimore, but you can never tell. What do you think, Ern?
I agree with you. You can never tell.
You can never tell. It ain't over till it's over. That's what Yogi says.
Yeah, he's right, dude. Lansford's going to lead it off now for the California Angels. 9-1, the Baltimore in the lead going to the 4th inning. Lansford bounced to second base. The only time he's been to bat, and the left-hander Flanagan goes into action, delivers. Here's a fastball low to Carney Lansford, ball 1. And the only hit for California is a home run by Danny Ford, who's waiting on deck. He had a homer with nobody on it, 2 out in the 1st inning. Here's a bounding ball wide of third. DeCinces gloves it to his left, flips it over to Murray. He's got him.
You know, you get to the point, you go back to the bench, and you say, what can we do to get some men on base and score some runs? They've got excellent pitching. They've got excellent, especially interior defense. Some of their outfielders might be a little bit suspect. We're talking about Baltimore, but it's just tough to beat these people.
Hard to get that ball through the infield, and all the outs have been in the infield now except the strikeout, and the fly that Baylor hit the center field in the opening inning. Well, here comes Ford. He's been the big gun for California. He's done most all of their hitting. He had a home run and an RBI double in the first game last night. He's had a home run in 1 trip today. Flanagan delivers, and Ford taps one up the middle. Garcia to the glove side, back of second. Gloves it, throw to first. He's out. almost pulled Murray off the bag.
So he's got quick feet, got up, got that toe back down on the bag, and made the play easily.
So they're following the same pattern the Angels are, hitting the ball on the ground. And that very sharp Baltimore infield taking care of the situation. Here's Baylor, who flied to center his only trip. He takes a strike on the inside corner. The RBI leader for the Angels, and he's looking for his first hit in the series. He was the first American leaguer since Reggie Jackson back in '73 to lead the league in both runs batted in and runs scored. Baylor had 109 RBIs. He scored 120 times. Now the strike one pitch, and he takes a breaking ball low, 1-1.
What also has hurt California, Baylor's been up only once with men on base.
Yeah, they don't set the table for him. He can't get him in. Ground ball again to Kiko Garcia. Shortstop throws over to first in time. They go quietly in the Angel fourth. We go to the last half of the fourth inning. Baltimore coming in to bat. Orioles 9, the Angels 1.
A little history. 10 years ago today, the first ever American League Championship Series game was played right here in Baltimore. The Orioles defeated the Minnesota Twins 4-3 in a dozen innings. They had 39,000 plus here. Guys like Frank Robinson, Boog Powell, and Brooks, of course, with the Birds. But guess who drove in the winning run? A perfectly executed bunt by Paul Blair. Blair now with the Cincinnati Reds hooked on with him. And he squeezed Belanger home in the 12th inning. Little history, Ernie.
Yes, sir, I was here for that one.
Were you?
Buddy Blattner and I did that one on the Hughes Sports Network. That first one, and that was a thrilling game. In fact, they had two close ones. And then went to Minnesota, and the last game was sort of a disaster. Baltimore swept that series. I think Buddy's down there in the Ozarks now selling real estate. Sailing his money.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Eddie Murray. He's been one of the hitting heroes in this Baltimore lead. Hits the first pitch and pops it into short left field. Anderson, the shortstop, backpedals, makes the catch. One pitch and one away. Murray, who had a single and a home run, pops to shortstop. John Lowenstein coming to bat now. Mark Clear on the mound for the Angels in relief of Frost. He came on in the second inning. Kicks and deals. Here's a foul back on the screen off the bat of Lowenstein. Baltimore got 4 in the first inning, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. The California run came on a home run in the first inning off the bat of Ford. Outside pitch from Clear, 1-1, the count on Lowenstein. 3 Oriole hitters with 2 hits apiece, Bumbry, Garcia, and Murray. Bumbry's had 7 assists. Garcia's had 7 assists at shortstop. Here's a strike called on Lowenstein. 1-2 now on John. Oh, right-hander Mark Clear winds and pitches. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Well, Lowenstein's gone down swinging twice against this young right-hand reliever. And here comes Pat Kelly, who has singled and taken the call third strike. Two out, nobody on for the Orioles. They lead it 9-1 in the fourth inning. Outfield swung around to right on Pat Kelly. And the infield deep, and time now called at the plate by Dale Ford, the umpire. Cloudy skies again now in Crabtown on the Chesapeake. Here's a swing and a miss. Strike one.
Well, the slider and the curveball seem to be Clear's best pitch here this afternoon.
He's settling down a little bit, too. Big, tall right-hander winds, pitches. There's a high fly ball into left center field. It's not deep. Clark and Miller there. Miller, the center fielder, makes the catch. And it's an easy inning for Mark Clear. He sets him down 1-2-3 in the Baltimore fourth. At the end of 4, the Orioles 9, California 1.
Well, today's attendance 52,108. Exactly 679 less than last night. Total of 104 plus for the two games, Ernie.
Well, here's Mr. Downing to try to get it going. Bill White, 9-1 is the score. Baltimore in the lead. Downing fouls it away. It'll be up toward the mezzanine and then down below. This time up, the bounce to Kiko Garcia. 7 Angel batters have gone out that way. Ground balls to the shortstop. Flanagan, the left-hander, deals, and the curve is in too close on the right-hand batting catcher. Downing, 1-1. 9 runs to 9 hits for Baltimore, 1 run and 1 hit for California. 5th inning. Swing, a chopper to third base. It is a foul ball. DeCinces fielded the ball and then threw it away, but it was called foul by the third base umpire, Al Clark.
Well, Flanagan's really been tough. He has not given up a base hit since the home run to Dan Ford in the first inning, and he's retired 10 straight California Angels.
And most of them on that ground ball to the infield. Now here comes Downing back. He's got a 1-2 count on him. Taking his time about getting back into the batter's box. Baltimore got 4 runs in the first inning, 4 in the second, 1 in the third. California got 1 in the first. That's the story here about midway in the second game of the playoffs in the American League. Now the 1-2 pitch. He takes a ball outside. 2-2 the count on Brian Downing. Outfield slightly toward right on him. And Flanagan checking his time with Dempsey. Goes into action, the 2-2 pitch. He swings and there's another foul here out of play. I think he broke his bat on that one. The first Major League game that Downing played, the first minute of it, as a matter of fact, there was an 8-run difference in the score. He was playing for Chicago against Detroit at Chicago. And the PA announcer had not even had time to announce his name, and he was being carried off the field to a standing ovation. What finally happened was that he had dived for a pop-up, was playing third base, and hit the stands and injured his knee. And he was out of the ball game just about the time he was in it. And when he got his first Major League home run, it was an inside-the-park homer in Detroit. He slid across home head first, although the ball was still at the fence. And he said, Bill Freehan looked down and laughed at him. Well, that was a glorious moment for Brian Downing. Now he's back at the plate, 2-2 pitch. And he takes an outside fastball. 3-2. He's a real battler. I think all those stories will point that up. And had a great year with California. Here's the pitch. Swing, and there's a fly ball lifted into short left field. Lowenstein there gloves it. And Downing is retired. So that will bring up Bobby Grich. Second outfield put out now for the Baltimore team. Rich bounced to shortstop his first time. It's the ball outside. Now Flanagan with an 8-run lead to work on. He's been masterful here, no question about it. Rich swings. There's a high fly ball deep center. Bumbry's got the room, but he's going back deep and makes the catch for the out.
You mentioned the master Flanagan, Ernie. Most of it is that he changes speeds well. Of course, he's always around the plate, but he keeps the ball in this instance away from the hitters. That's why we're getting most of the pitches hit up the middle. He's keeping that good fastball away and sinking it away.
That changeup, he learned from Scott McGregor, his teammate. There's a fastball outside. It's off the mid of Dempsey. Bob Clark, the batter now, the rookie outfielder. He fanned in the second inning. Flanagan left hands one to the plate. Clark swings and doesn't get it. 1-1. Flanagan, a low-key kind of a guy. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Clark takes strike. Ooh, he hit that outside corner with that one. You could throw that pitch all day, and they're not going to bother you too much. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He fooled him on the train. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the last half of the fifth inning. Baltimore 9, California 1.
I to Nolan Ryan being taken out of last night's ball game in the 8th inning. He had to leave because of cramps in his leg. And, of course, Nolan said he'll be ready for the 5th game if it should be needed. The Angels have already set their pitching for tomorrow. Frank Tanana is home, and he'll start tomorrow for the California Angels. He's won 7, lost 5. Denny Martinez, of course, for the Baltimore Orioles. But we thought you'd like to know that if necessary for the 5th game, and that's looking way ahead, might be too far ahead, Nolan Ryan would be able to get the baseball for the California Angels. Ernie Harwell.
Well, Bill, I think we've got to pay tribute to Jim Fregosi in his first full year as the manager. Did a great job. He used 81 different lineups in the year in an effort to offset the great number of injuries he had, but he came out on top in that Western Division. And his team played a very close game with the Orioles last night. Lost it on the home run by Lowenstein, and they are behind by 8 right now in the second game of this playoff. Here's Doug DeCinces to lead off against the reliever Mark Clear. 9-1, the Baltimore leading. It's inning number 5. Doug swings. There's a high foul. It'll reach the seats off a third. DeCinces with a single and a walk. He scored a run. Orioles got 4 in the first inning. Bumbry single stole second after the double play. Murray singled him home. Lowenstein walked, and Kelly singled in a run. DeCinces singled in a run. Another one scored as DeCinces went to second on the throwing error by Ford. Then they picked up 4 in the second, 3 of them on a home run by Eddie Murray. There's a bounding ball to shortstop, gloved there by Anderson. He flips it over to Carew, and there's 1 up and 1 down in the Baltimore 5th inning. Well, Clear settling down from the 3rd inning on now. He's retired the last 5. Here's Rich Dauer, who is 0 for 2 in this game. He has bounced to second base and fouled the catcher. Had a single in the Oriole victory last night. Takes a low curve, ball 1 on Rich Dauer, D-A-U-E-R. 9 runs and 9 hits for the Orioles. 1 run and 1 hit for California. The home run by Ford, their only hit. Clear curves him. It's mowed away, 2-0. Changed a little bit. Looks more like it's going straight out now. He swings. There's a fly lifted into short left. Clark is there. He makes the catch. And there are 2 down for the Orioles in the 5th inning. The 9th man in the batting order, Rick Dempsey, is stepping up. He's 0 for 2 today. Bounced to first on a check swing and fly to left. On the mound, delivers. Here's a strike call. Clear gave him a good curveball that time. Here's another curve. This one misses the inside corner. 1-1 on Rick Dempsey. With a fastball in too close, 2-1, the count on Rick. Now Bumbry, the leadoff man, waiting out on deck. There's a strike called on the outside corner, 2-2 the count on him now. Baltimore has dominated this game with its heavy hitting. 9 runs and 9 hits. They lead 9-1. Dempsey swings, a little looper hit back to shortstop, gloved there by Anderson. And for the second straight inning, the Orioles go down 1-2-3. We go to the 6th inning in Baltimore. The Orioles 9, the Angels 1. Here's Rick Miller up now. Hits a little looping fly ball to left. Lowenstein is there. He makes the catch. And there's 1 out in the California 6th inning. That's the 14th in a row retired by the left-hander Flanagan. Ready to step up there. He's throwing away the lead donut and moving up to the home plate area. 9-1, the score. Baltimore leading. The Californians are batting in the 6th inning. Anderson has been up 1 time. He bounced to Garcia, the shortstop. The only hit off Flanagan, the home run by Ford with 2 out in the first. The only man who's touched the base. Here's a fastball high, ball 1. It's a strike call, the fastball over from Flanagan. Big cushion to work with, an 8-run lead. Flanagan picking up his sign from Dempsey. Strike outside corner. He's giving him the smoke again, 1-2. Rod Carew waiting at the on-deck circle. Here's a swing and a high pop-up back of short, backpedaling Garcia on the grass in left center. Takes the catch, and there are 2 down. So that's 15 straight now, and here's Carew. He's bounced out to short and to second base, 0 for 2. Picked up 3 hits in the opening game last night. One of the great hitters in baseball history, one of the most consistent in recent decades, Rod Carew. Here's a drive to left. It'll be a fair ball and a 2-base hit. That's what it did. Hit right on the line. I thought that ball was going to slice foul.
Looked like it was. It was going that way. But Greg Koch right down the line watched it. I think that's the advantage of having 6 umpires.
He was right there on top of it, and it bounced in there into Pat Satterone's tomato plant. The groundskeeper grows tomatoes out there. A 2-out double by Carew. Here's Lansford up, and he fouls it away. Well, that is the first hit since the home run by Ford in the first inning. 15 in a row had been set down by Flanagan. 9-1, the Orioles lead. California batting in the 6th inning. They've got Carew at second. Lansford swings and fouls it away back at the plate. 2 strikes on Carney. He'll be followed by Dan Ford. Now the step by Flanagan, and he pitches. It is a ball outside. This is the first time that Flanagan had to pitch to a batter from the set position. One and two, the count on Lansford. Flanagan's slowed up in his pitching pace a little bit now. He sets and kicks and pitches. There's a foul upstairs. Still a 1-2 count on him. Scoring came early in this game. California got a run on the first inning home run by Ford. The Baltimore's came up with 4 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, and that's the way it's gone so far. They're in the 6th inning now. Fastball in too close. 2-2 the count on him. Carney Lansford waiting on the 2-2 pitch. Slow curve misses the target. 3-2. Haven't seen Flanagan throw many pitches to the batters. Most of the time they've been meeting that first couple of pitches. Now the full count delivery, and he swings as a base hit to left field. Carew rounding third. He's coming home to score to make it 9-2. Lowenstein's throw goes into second base. It's an RBI single for Lansford, and the Californians get one back to cut the lead to 9-2. That is their third hit. A double and a single here after the first 2 men had been retired. And here comes Ford, who homered in the first inning and then bounced to short in the 4th.
And although they're leading by 7, the Orioles are getting, it looks like Tim Stoddard up out there, a big right-hander. He'll start throwing.
And Ford taking his time about moving into the batter's box. Murray will hold over there on the bag at first base to the runner. Ford homered in the first inning, his second home run in the 2 games. He's hit each one of them in the first inning with 2 outs. the set and the pitch, and Dan swings at the high foul fly to right. Into the mezzanine. Down into the right field corner. Lansford getting a short lead at first base. Strike one count on Ford. There's a toss over to first, and he's back safely. Darren Johnson, the first base coach over there. Here's a pitch over for a strike. You ever play with Darren? He's been all around, and you have too. His pass must have crossed somewhere.
Well, I think with the Phillies, Ernie. You know, when you start moving around as much as I have and as much as Darren has, as you mentioned today, your paths are bound across, but you really can't remember where you played with or against the guy.
Big D.
I know I played against him when he was with the Cincinnati Reds. He and Frank Robinson were both there.
Quite a hitter, that guy. Here's the strike two pitch now. It is a little tap at a third, charged by DeCinces. Gloves it, throw to first. He got him, and the side retires. One run for California. 2 hits, no errors. The Angels lead 1. We go to the last half of the 6th inning. Baltimore 9, California 2.
The fact that they have, we're not laughing about the fact, talking about the fact they have about 600 less here, and we're looking, and behind the poles here, a lot of vacant seats. I suppose those fans who sat here last night in those seats decided not to come back, but not to buy those tickets.
I tell you, those poles are pretty thick. They're almost like colonial columns, aren't they?
Well, that's the one big plus about the new Yankee Stadium. They took down I think they had about 14,000 obstructed seats. And they took all those poles down. Everybody could see.
And still they kept the character of that ballpark. I thought they did a good job on that. 6th inning now, Baltimore batting 9-2. They lead California in the second game of the American League playoffs. Mark Clear pitching to Bumbry, and it is outside of the leadoff man. Bumbry up for the 4th time. Officially, he's 2 for 2 plus a walk. A couple of singles. He scored 2 runs. And he looks at a high one. 2-0 to count on now. Veteran of Vietnam, Al Bumbry. He'll be followed by Kiko Garcia, then it'll be Singleton. He swings at the chopper on the left side, deep at short. Goes Anderson, close to first. He got him. Got him by a step and a half. Oh, Mr. Clear has settled down now. That's 8 in a row that he's retired. And here's the man who got the last hit off him, Kiko Garcia, the last man to reach base against Mark Clear when he singled in the 3rd inning and drove home a run. Kiko not only has been busy at shortstop, but he's had a walk and 2 singles, 2 for 2. Takes a curve in too close. 9-2, Baltimore leading. It's the 6th inning. 1 out, nobody on. Swing and a foul off the throwing hand of Downing. He's trying to walk it off down there back of the plate. Singleton waiting on deck for Baltimore. Now Clear checks his sign. Nope, he's not quite ready. Now Downing's down to give the sign. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Garcia takes a breaking ball into close, 2-1. RBIs for Baltimore, 2 for Garcia, 4 for Murray, 1 for Kelly, 1 for DeCinces. 1 run scored on the error committed by Ford, the right fielder. Fastball in too close, making a 3-1 count on Kiko. Who played shortstop last night had to have a couple of shots. He was playing on a bad leg. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing! And a chip foul to the mid of Downing. 9 for Baltimore, 2 for California. 6th inning. Now the full count delivery, and Kiko swings and fouls it away back at the plate in the dirt. these teams head out here tonight. We'll meet again at a different site. Tomorrow night it'll be the Big A, Anaheim. Waiting on a 3-2 serve now. Garcia takes it. They walk for him, low and outside.
And the base on balls, they have really hurt the California Angels. They walked 2 in the first inning. One of them scored. Walked 1 in the second. Then Bumbry scored. And he walked DeCinces leading off the third, and he scored. You got to get it over. Let the people help you.
That's a total of 5 that they've walked. 3 by Frost to start it, 2 by Clear. Here comes Singleton up. He's hit into a double play. Singleton fly to left. 1 on and 1 out. Now Mark Clear working in relief goes to the set position out there on the mound. And Singleton takes the ball low. It hits the mid of Downing and bounds away to his left. On to second will go Garcia. Let's pause for 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
That last maneuver was scored as a wild pitch, sending Garcia into second base. Ball won the count on Singleton. It's the last half of the 6th inning at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. And the Orioles have a 9-2 lead over the California Angels. Man on second base, 1 man down. That's Garcia at second base, Singleton at plate. And Clear, the rookie relief pitcher, goes to the set position to the biz. It's a strike call. Got the outside corner with that one, 1-1.
The Angels, Ernie, have a right-hander, Mike Barlow, now throwing in their bullpen.
Clear settled down since the third. He's done a good job since that point. Singleton takes. It is a strike on the outside corner. Sort of a changeup. 1-2 the count on Ken. Cloudy skies right now. That sun has been in and out all afternoon. Singleton waits. Here it comes. He looks at a fastball wide. 2-2. Clear seems intent on pitching him away. Keeping that ball outside. Switch batter batting left-handed, digging in, waiting on a 2-2 delivery. Here it is. Outside again, same spot, full count. Got the first man, and then he walks Garcia. Wild pitch him to second. Now he's got to come in on 3-2 with Singleton. Orioles lead it 9-2 in the 6th inning. Clear ready, delivers. He swings at the bounding ball to second. Grich hobbles it, picks it up. Here's the throw to first in time, and the Garcia takes third. Grich had time to pick the ball up and get Singleton at first.
Well, he knows that Ken does not run that well. He took plenty of time. Ball bounced behind him, but not too far, and he didn't really scramble at it. He knew he had a lot of time, took his time, and made the play.
Well, here's Eddie Murray. He has been the number 1 hero in the hitting attack today. Most everybody on this team's contributed, but none any bigger than Murray. He has a single to drive in a run in the first inning and a 3-run homer in the second. Last time he batted in the 4th inning, he popped the shortstop. Switch batter batting left-handed. 9-2, Baltimore leading California. 6th inning. Murray takes the curve in above the knees. That long man in relief is an important cog in your baseball machine. He's got to hold off the opposition if he can and give his team a chance in the late innings to get back. There's a pitch low, 1-1. Clear had a little trouble early, Bill, but he's come on strong since then.
Yeah, he gave up that home run to Eddie Murray, and he was responsible only for 2 of those runs up there, but since then, as you mentioned, and he gave up the walk and the base hit to Garcia driving in DeCinces.
Now the 1-1 pitch to Eddie Murray. Swung on a bounding ball to first. Carew has the 1-hopper, makes the play unassisted, and the side retired. No runs on no hits, no errors. There's a walk, a man left at third base. At the end of 6, the Orioles 9 and the Angels 2.
South Africa.
Well, Mike Flanagan won 23 ball games this year for the Baltimore Orioles. He won 23, lost 9. He's leading this game by a score of 9-2. And we talked to Mike before the ball game. We asked him about his thoughts on the Cy Young Award.
Cy Young Award is a afterthought right now. I think if we finished in 4th or 5th place, that's all I'd be thinking about. But being the first time with the playoffs and a chance for the World Series, that's number one.
That's Mike Flanagan. Of course, he leads this one by a score of 9-2. He'll get some competition from Tommy John, the Yankee left-hander, won 21, and Jerry Kuzman for the Minnesota Twins edged in. He won 20. And a fellow who will probably get a lot of votes, too, is that big reliever from the Texas Rangers, Jim Kern. He's had a super year. But I think Ernie Harwell is going to be Mike Flanagan without a doubt as the Cy Young Award winner here for the year 1979 in the American League.
I'm going to have to agree with you. You don't mind it.
The cinch, huh?
Here's Don Baylor coming up now. It is the 7th inning, and California needs some runs in wholesale fashion. There's a drive to left field, a base hit by Baylor. That'll be his first hit in the series, 1 for 3 in this game. And each of the first 4 men in the batting order for California has a hit. Carew, Lansford, Ford, and Baylor, 1 apiece. That's the hit total of Flanagan. They've had 2 singles, a double, and a home run. It's Brian Downing stepping in. He's 0 for 2 in this game. And Brian went 0 for 4 in the opening game, so he's looking for his first playoff hit. Swings and fouls it upstairs. 9 runs and 9 hits for Baltimore, 2 runs and 4 hits for California. The scoring came early. California got a home run from Dan Ford in the opening inning. Led 1-0, and Baltimore got 4 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third. California came back with 1 in the sixth. Pitch is a fastball from Flanagan outside, 1-1. Murray holding at first base with Baylor. Bobby Grich is waiting on deck. There's a drive to left. It'll be a base hit toward the corner. Lowenstein chases. On the third goes Baylor. He's a good runner. He makes it easily. The throw comes in on 1 up to Dauer. And there are 2 Angels on now with nobody out in their 7th inning. Bobby Grich will be up there now to test Flanagan.
And there's some stirring out in the Baltimore Oriole bullpen located out in left center field. Flanagan might be losing a little bit off that fastball. He tried to sneak it past Downing inside, and Brian got around on it. He's leading by 7, but Earl Weaver is not the kind of manager who will take any kind of a chance. He's got too good a bullpen to let the California Angels get too close.
And now they've got 5 hits, each by the 5 different first 5 batters. Here's a strike on the outside corner on Grich. Bobby's 0 for 2. He's bounced to short and fly to center. 9-2, the Orioles in the lead after winning the opening game of the set last night. Grich takes a let-up pitch, and the count is 1-1. It was a little bit low. Up the infield back in double play depth. Playing Grich to right in the outfield. And pitching him outside. It was very wide that time, 2-1.
They've got Tim Sauter, the right-hander. He's up again. And a left-hander, Tippy Martinez, throwing in the Baltimore bullpen.
1 of each. Now the set by Flanagan, the left-handed pitches. Here's a fly ball into deep left center. Bumbry going back. He's over there now waiting. And makes the catch. Here's the tag at third. Baylor coming in will score with ease to make it 9-3. RBI on the sacrifice off the bat of Bobby Grich. Downing holding at first base.
Well, we talked about getting them back 1 at a time. Of course, that's what California's been trying to do. They got to run last inning 1 here. But right around here, Ernie, I think need a long ball.
Yeah, the innings are running out on him. Here's Clark. It's a bounding ball to Kiko Garcia. Over to second for 1 to Dauer. Relay to first. Not in time. They missed the double play. They got the 4th out. Garcia to Dauer. But he couldn't get the ball over to Murray in time to double up the swift rookie, Clark.
Center fielder, Rick Dauer.
Miller Miller stepping in now. Rick has gone 0 for 2, batting in the number 8 spot of the batting order. Bouncing to short and flying to left field. 9 runs, 9 hits for Baltimore, 3 runs, 5 hits for California. Flanagan to the set position now, delivers and gets one a little bit outside. Ball 1. His basic task now is to throw strikes. Miller trying to reset himself in the batter's box, digging around with his spikes. DeCinces a little close at third on Rick. He backs away from an inside fastball, 2-0. Working on a 6-run lead. Flanagan sets and delivers. Here's a bounding ball to Kiko Garcia. He flips it over to Dauer to get the force out on Clark, and the side retires. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left, and we go to the last half of the 7th. Baltimore 9, California 3.
American League President Lee MacPhail announced Thursday he will not take any disciplinary action against New York manager Billy Martin over an incident in which Martin allegedly paid one of his pitchers to throw at a batter. According to reports, Martin paid pitcher Bob Kammeyer $100 for hitting Cleveland's Cliff Johnson. It was Johnson who fought with Yankees relief ace Rich Dauer in a shower April 18th, causing a thumb injury to the pitcher that was a factor in New York's early slide from contention in the Eastern Division. Martin contended that he paid cash to Kammeyer so he could take out 2 fellow pitchers to dinner as a way to forget a game in which they were all hit hard in Cleveland. According to MacPhail, I'm completely satisfied that his gift of cash to his 3 young pitchers was for nothing more than a dinner as reported. He also added, however, he was questioning the wisdom of Martin's payment at that particular time, but he said nonetheless this office is satisfied that there was no other intent. MacPhail indicated that he had checked with Martin, Kammeyer, all of the umpires involved, and sources from the Cleveland Ball Club, and MacPhail decided that the brushback pitch had been thrown, but that there was no intent to hit the batter. Baltimore Orioles right-hander Dennis Martinez will oppose California Angels left-hander Frank Tanana when the American League playoffs move to Anaheim for Friday's 3rd game. Neither Martinez, who finished at 15-16, nor Tanana at 7-5, have had playoff experience.
Well, tomorrow, 3:07 p.m. Eastern Time, the Pirates and the Reds at Three Rivers and Pittsburgh. And tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern Time, it'll be the Angels and the Baltimore Orioles out in Anaheim. Angels with their backs up against the wall, Ernie Hartwell.
Yes, sir, they sure are. And let's see what happens now in this one. It is 9-3, the Orioles, and here's Lowenstein swinging and missing on the first pitch. Clear's done a good job in long relief, trying to hold out the Orioles here in the late stages. Baltimore leading by 6 runs, 9-3. Lowenstein is walked, struck out twice. It's a bounding ball to first. Good stop by Carew on the one-hopper, makes the play unassisted.
You know, we talked so much about Eddie Murray and what a fine first baseman he has gotten to be. We've got to also talk about Rod Carew. All-star second baseman for so many years, switched to first base, and he can make all the plays there.
And he says he feels very comfortable over there. He thinks he should have been there a long time ago.
You know, I think Rod would like to get the Golden Glove also at first base. He's got a few golden bats representing, of course, the batting championship, but I think he'd like a glove to go with those.
Here's Pat Kelly up now, 1 for 3 for Pat, and he takes a changeup from cleared low for ball 1. Kelly singled in the first inning when they got 4 runs. He struck out in the second. He flied to center field in the 4th. There's a ball high and away. 2-0 on Pat Kelly. 9 runs, 9 hits for Baltimore. 3 runs, 5 hits for California. It's the 7th inning in Baltimore. Clear, winds, delivers. Here's a bounding ball to Bobby Grich. He plays the hop throw to Carew. Got him. 2 down. Oh, the Birds have not been very potent since the 3rd inning. Well, they have not had a hit since that time. Their last hit came a single in the third by Garcia that knocked in the ninth run. Garcia drew a walk in the sixth inning. He's the only man who's been on base since that third. And here's Doug DeCinces with 2 out in the seventh inning. He's had a single, a walk, and a bounce to short. Frost started, and Clear relieved him in the second inning. Swing, fly ball, right center, going over is Miller. He's there, he's got it. And the Orioles go quietly in the seventh, 1, 2, 3. We go to the eighth inning, and it is Baltimore 9, California 3.
The St. Louis Cardinals were unable to generate much offense in a preseason visit to the Houston Astrodome, and they are still trying as they return Sunday to play the Houston Oilers. If stopping NFL leading tailback Earl Campbell is St. Louis's primary concern, as the Cardinals coach Bud Wilkinson has indicated, then advancing to the football has to be the number 2 priority. St. Louis has scored just 1 touchdown in its past 2 games. Houston at 4-1 shared the AFC Central Division lead after a 31-10 win over previously unbeaten Cleveland, but head coach Bum Phillips was concerned about his team taking the Cardinals 1-4 too lightly. He said they had Dallas beat, they had Pittsburgh beat. He says St. Louis is capable of beating anybody. All you've got to do is think a guy can't beat you, and he will. The game matched last season's rookie running sensation Campbell against this year's Otis Anderson, the NFL rushing leader on the list this season. It was Campbell's first with 569 yards and Anderson's third with 481.
This Monday night at 9 Eastern Time, be sure your radio is tuned to CBS Radio for National Football League action. The Miami Dolphins take on the Oakland Raiders. Jack Buck and Hank Stram will be on the scene in Oakland, and Brent Musburger will join them at halftime. And listen for regular Monday night National Football League play, plus other regular season and postseason games right up to the Super Bowl, and that'll be in January, with CBS Radio Sports live coverage on most of these same stations. Well, we're going to get a pinch hitter for the shortstop, Jim Anderson, a former Oriole. Merv Retman has been sent up by Jim Fregosi to bat for his light-hitting shortstop. And Retman will try to get things going here in the eighth inning for the California Angels. Ernie?
Well, the much-traveled utility man, Merv Retman, native of Flint, Michigan, makes his home out in California now. In his 12th Major League season, he batted .263 with 1 home run and 10 runs batted in. Right-hand hitter against Flanagan, and the left-hander delivers. There's a high pop foul off of first base. Murray near the seats, and he reaches but can't get it. Over there by the top row, and Eddie just couldn't get to it. California pecking away at this lead. They picked up runs in the 6th and 7th innings, but they still have a 6-run deficit as they bat in the 8th. Redeman is batting for Anderson, the number 9 hitter and shortstop. Merv takes a ball outside. 1-1 the count on him. One-time Oriole, Redeman takes. It is outside. 2-1 the count on him. Outfield around to right. Infield is back. Flanagan's gone all the way. Given up 4 of the 5 hits in the last 2 innings. Strike, inside corner fastball. 2-2 the count of the pinch batter. Redmond played in 4 playoffs with Baltimore, 1 with Cincinnati. Swings and rolls a foul ball over on the third base side. 2-2, the count stays. California runs batted in Lansford with a single to the 6th inning. Ford with a home run in the 1st. And Grich with a sacrifice in the 7th. Wind up the 2-2 pitch. Outside, and Retman has a full count on him. Ready to get back in there and face Flanagan. Now he's in. And the Baltimore left-hander pitches. Here's a fly ball at the left field. It is hooking, and it will be a foul drive down in the corner.
Turning a right-hander, Mike Barlow, throwing in the Angel bullpen. He's been throwing quite a while, so we might have seen the last of Mark Clear. You mentioned he came on and did a fairly good job, but he might be tiring a little bit.
Well, Merv stepping back in. He's still got that 3-2 count on him. The windup by Flanagan. He pitches. It's a walk. Ball 4, high and outside. That will be the first walk off Flanagan.
And Flanagan might be tiring a bit.
Well, here comes Carew, who doubled in the 6th inning and has 1 for 3. And Earl Weaver is coming out of the dugout. I think we're going to get a runner over at first base. Dickie Thon is coming in to run at first base for Redmond. Weaver has reached the mound. They'll have a confab. I don't know whether they've signaled to the bullpen yet or not.
Well, somebody's just getting up. Looks like Don Stanhouse getting up out there. And he just starts throwing, so he will not be able to take his left-hander, Mike Flanagan, out here because obviously his reliever is not ready. He's just started to throw. But we were going out there and give him a little bit of rest and tell him to get the ball over and let's get out of here. Now he's calling Eddie Murray over. Of course, this wastes a little bit more time as home plate umpire Dale Ford goes out. He wants to hustle Weaver up, but Weaver turns his back on him, goes over and talks to Eddie Murray. This young man knows all the tricks, Earl Weaver, and uses them all. He once brought a rule book out. I think Larry Barnett might have been the umpire. The guy who umpired here last night brought a rule book out and tore it up in front of Barnett. He says, you guys aren't going to enforce it. I might as well tear this thing up.
He used to have that trick, too, where he would make his cap into a little peak, and he'd peck at the umpire with the peak of his cap. Well, here's Rod Carew stepping up now with the man on and nobody down. That's Thon at first base. Thon, Ricky Thon. There's the strike call on Rod. Outfield is straight up on him. 9-3, Baltimore in the lead, 8th inning. Carew takes a slow curve. It's wide, 1-1. He'll be followed by Lansford, the right-handed batting third baseman. California trying to get a rally started here. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It is swung on and fouled away. 1-2 on Rod Carew.
He's changed speeds well on Rod Carew. I guess he's trying to make Rod use his own bat speed to get a base hit. Throwing him that slow curveball.
Tough man to figure out up there at the plate, Rodney. Flanagan, left hand's one toward the plate. Swung on the bounding ball to Murray. Bounces through his leg. Carew is safe at first, and on to second will go Thon. Blackie might have just taken his eye off of that one.
I believe he did. I think Eddie wanted to try to make a play at second base. He came up a little bit too soon. He wanted to try to force Dickie Thon down at second. And when you do that, a lot of times you'll come up a little bit too soon. You'll take the eye off the ball and trying to make that spin, especially if you're a right-handed thrower. And as he came up, the ball went under, and it's an error charged to Eddie Murray.
Well, the Angels got a couple of guys on now. They trail by 6, 9-3, trying to battle back in the late innings. And Lansford, who had a single to drive and a run in the 6th, is a hitter. He takes the ball outside from Flanagan. Carney Lansford bounced to second, bounced to third the first 2 times, and then he singled. And got the infield and double play depth for Baltimore. Orioles lead it 9-3 in the 8th. Swing, there's a base hit to left center field. Rounding third is Ricky Thon. He'll score. There goes Carew, rounding second. He moves to third, and it is now 9-4. Runners at first and third, and nobody down.
Well, they're doing it the way you would like it to be done as they're coming back here, but that's going to be all from Mike Flanagan as Earl Weaver now makes his second trip to the mound. He'll, when he goes back, he'll take Flanagan with him, and it looks like Don Stanhouse, who pitched last night, will be the new Oriole pitcher. Stanhouse came on in the 10th inning last night, got the side out, and actually was the winning pitcher as the Orioles won it by a count of 6-3 on a pinch hit home run by John Lowenstein in the 10th inning. So Stanhouse coming on now, and he'll be pitching to Dan Ford. We mentioned Ernie. Listen to the hand first, though, for Mike Flanagan as he leads. Standing ovation for Mike Flanagan.
plus 3 batters here in the 8th inning. And there's a great possibility that had not the first baseman, Eddie Murray, allowed the Cruz bounce to get through him, Flanagan might still be in this ball game, but that's the breaks in baseball. He's out of there. And Don Stanhouse is coming on. So he went 7 plus 3 batters here in the 8th. As he leaves. 4 runs, 5, 6 base hits. I've got him for 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. And he walked that man here in the 8th inning, and maybe that's why we went out to talk to him, and he's bringing on Stanhouse now. We mentioned Stanhouse pitching to 3 batters last night and getting them all out. He's tough. Sometimes he'll walk a few people, but he seems to get the job done. Well, this Monday, October 8th, Win Elliott has a special feature for you. He's preparing a World Series preview with interviews of players, managers, and coaches. You won't want to miss it. That's coming up Monday on most of the CBS radio stations. Also coming up on Tuesday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, the opening game of the World Series. It'll be at the American League City, and you'll hear Vin Scully, Sparky Anderson, and also Win Elliott, who's doing that special. So Don Stanhouse in here. Baltimore leading 9-4. They have 9 runs on 9 base hits. The California Angels 4 runs on a 6 base hit. And California pouncing and knocking out Mike Flanagan. They've gotten 3 of those 4 runs over the last 3 innings. And obviously Flanagan, who had pitched well through the first 5, tiring just a bit. At one point in the ballgame, Flanagan had retired 15 in a row after giving up the home run to Dan Ford in the first. Then the Orioles scored another run in the 6th as Rod Carew doubled with 2 outs and scored on a single by Carney Lansford. They nicked Flanagan for another run in the 7th, a leadoff single by Baylor, another single by Brian Downing, sending Baylor to third base, and he scored from there on a sacrifice fly by Bobby Grich. And here in the 8th inning, the California Angels have gotten rid of Mike Flanagan. Merv Retman, a former Oriole, pinch hitting for Jim Anderson, walked. Then Rod Carew bounced one to Eddie Murray, who was playing behind Dickie Thon. Thon went in to pinch run for Retman. And somehow Eddie Murray let the ball get through him for an error. And then Carney Lansford ripped one into left center field, driving in Dickie Thon. And Rod Carew with good speed moving on to third base. So California's cut the lead to 5 in the 8th inning. And it'll be up to Don Stanhouse now to try to stop the California Angels. They can score runs. They've scored all year. And the guy who has 2 home runs in the first 2 games, Dan Ford, is a batter, Ernie.
Yeah, you were talking to Bill about getting them one at a time, which they've done, and now they've reached the point where they'd like to get more than one at a time. They've got the table set for this home run threat. Dan Ford has homered, bounced to shortstop, and bounced to third so far. This time he'll be facing the right-handed Stanhouse, who came in and was the winning pitcher last night in relief. Oh, Stanhouse, the big right-hander, ready to go to work. Fastball, curve, change, and a slider. That constitutes his repertoire out there on the mound. The Orioles hoping to get the double play here. 9-4 the score. The Angels creeping up on them in the 8th inning. And the right hand is still not ready to go to work. Now he's set. Ford is waiting at the plate. And he swings and misses on a dipping curve. Ready to unload on that first pitch, but he couldn't get it. The only Angel with 2 hits now is Lansford. Nobody among the bottom 5 hitters in the batting order has a hit. And all at the top of the order. The Angels have been the producers of hits. 9-4, Baltimore leading, 8th inning. Stanhouse in relief for the start of Flanagan. Now sets and delivers. Here's a check swing, and it is ruled a ball. Dempsey asking the plate umpire Ford to check with Evans at first base. He did, and Evans said, nope, the man didn't go across on it 1-1. and the manager are allowed to make that request. Ford digging in, waiting on the 1-1 delivery. Man at first, man at third. Nobody down. 9-4, Baltimore leading. 8th inning. Stanhouse, a very deliberate worker. Sets and deals. Here's a curve outside. 2-1. That seems to be the way they're going to pitch him here. Low and away with breaking stuff. Baylor is waiting on deck. Ford digs in that characteristic close stance of his. Man at first, man at third. He waits on a 2-1 pitch. There's a throw to first, and back in time. Here's the runner, Lansford. Man at third is Rod Carew. Two good runners out there right now. It's Stanhouse scraping around, making Ford wait a little bit longer. They've turned the lights on now. Here's the set for the big right-hander. The pitch, he takes the ball outside. The same type pitch, low and away with the curve.
He doesn't want to throw him anything inside. Let him pull the ball. Of course, this is the kind of pitcher Stanhouse is. He'll nibble, but somehow he'll get you out.
And they're playing him around the right also.
Of course, all his runs are all Weaver crazy.
Yeah.
He wants his relievers to come in and throw strikes.
Stanhouse wants to check with Ford about the count. Ford says it's 3-1. And the big right-hander is still not quite ready to go to work. Ford waits on the 3-1 pitch. Swings as a line drive to second baseman. Now he throws over to first. Not in time to double off the runner, but it's an out. And the runners hold at first and third. Little hop-back line pulled in by Dauer. He fired to Eddie Murray, but the runner Lansford slid back safely.
Lansford almost made a rookie mistake. The play was in front of him, Bernie, and he actually went a little bit too far and almost got caught.
Oh, that's one down. They've still got runners at first and third, and another big gun up. Don Baylor, the RBI champion of the league. He had his first hit in this series in the 7th inning. He's had 1 for 3 in this game. He led off the 7th and scored a run. Stanhouse has his sign from Dempsey. And the pitch swung on. There's a drive to left. Lowenstein coming over. Can't get it. Plays it on one hop deep. In the score will come Carew. Lansford going to third on the long single to left. Another run in. And it is now 9-5 as the Angels are flapping their wings now here in the 8th inning.
And that's the first time in this ball game that Baylor's been up with men on base. And, of course, that's why he led the major leagues in runs batted in. He hits well with men on base. I think we might get an appeal play here. I think they might feel that Carney Lansford missed second base. I saw Kiko Garcia point there. I don't know if they're going to appeal that play there or not.
Well, right now they're exchanging baseballs to Stanhouse. We'll have to wait and see.
I guess they are. They probably asked second base umpire Don Dinkinger, did he touch up there, and he said yes.
So Downing will be the batter. Bryan had a single in the 7th inning. It is now 9-5 in favor of the Orioles. The Angels have picked up 2 here to cut that lead. Stanhouse delivers. His curve is over on Downing.
You know what a home run will do to this thing?
Whoa.
Get it awfully close.
Within 1. Downing is capable. Right-hander against the right-hander. They're playing him around the right, too. They're pitching these right-hand hitters outside, playing them to hit the right. 2 good runners on. Baylor at first, Lansford at third. Stanhouse to the set position delivers. And it's in tight on Downing, 1-1 on Bryan. California has now picked up 7 hits. They had only 1 through the first 5 innings. They've had 2 in each of the last 3 innings. Browning waiting on a Stanhouse pitch now. It's 1-1 the count of the catcher. He swings. There's a fly ball hit the left field. Lowenstein going back and over. He makes the catch at the warning track. Lansford will tag at third and cross the plate to make it 9-6, and holding at first will be Baylor. Oh, the Angels creeping up on them. They've scored 3 in this inning to cut the Oriole lead to 9-6.
Second baseman, Bobby Grich.
Here's Bobby Grich stepping in. There are 2 down on the man at first.
And that'll do it for Flanagan's record, Ernie. All 6 runs now. Charge to the record of Mike Flanagan. Doug DeCinces wants to talk to Don Stanhouse. So Flanagan went 7+ innings. He gave up 6 runs on 6 base hits. Walked 2, struck out 1. Stanhouse now working on his own ERA.
And Grich will be the batter with a man on and 2 down. 9 runs, 9 hits for Baltimore. 6 runs, 7 hits for the Angels. Each team's been charged with a 1 error. Well, this game, a vivid contrast to the one of last night, dominated by pitching. Rich is ready. Stanhouse delivers. Here's a bounding ball to second base. A glove by Dauer. Throw to first. The inning's over. The Orioles come to bat now in the 8th inning, and the score is California 6 and the Orioles 9. Well, this capacity crowd being led in cheers now by a cab driver from nearby Dundalk, Maryland, named Wild Bill Hagee, who's become sort of a cult hero around these parts. He's up on the dugout of the Orioles, and they're spelling out the word Orioles in unison here, with a lot of extra noise tossed in his background. Baltimore in the lead. Last half of the 8th inning. Don Baylor coming into pitch now for California. Dickie Thon goes into play shortstop, replacing Anderson. Redeman batted for Anderson, and then Thon ran for Merv Redeman. And Baylor will be taking over, the right-hander who was born in Orange, California, right near the Big A, the home park of the Angels. He won 9 and lost 10 in the regulation season. And the first man to face him is Rich Dauer. He takes the ball outside. 9-6. The Angels making a valiant comeback here. They are still 3 short. Ossie, right hand front of the plate. It is a ball high. 2-0 now, the count on Rich Dauer. He'll be followed by Dempsey, and then they'll go to the top of the batting order, Bumbry. Outfield is straight up on Dauer. Strike call. So Clear goes 5 2/3 innings and gives up a couple of runs. There's a bounding ball to first base, backing up Carew, gloves it, makes the play and assisted 1 away. That'll bring to bat Dempsey, the number 9 man in the batting order. He bounced the first fly to left and lined to shortstop. Now, California's dominated the last part of the game. The first part of it belonged to the Orioles. They got 4 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third. They've not scored since. California's scoring came 1 in the first, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and 3 in the 8th. There's a bunt toward third, a beauty. Lansford can't make the play. It'll be a base hit for Dempsey, who caught Lansford deep at third base, laid one down, and Lansford didn't have a chance.
Perfect bunt. Dempsey is obviously one of the better punters on the Baltimore club. The other one, the guy who can lay it down well, is Mark Belanger. Should be 1-2.
Well, you couldn't see one any better than that. Here comes Bumbry up now. He's had a couple of singles, a walk, and a bounce to shortstop. Man at first, 1 man down. Baltimore leading 9-6. It's the 8th inning. Infield and double play depth. Here's the set now. The pitch. Bumbry takes the ball outside. Well, we'll be tuned in tomorrow at 3:07 Eastern time. For that game at Three Rivers between the Pirates and the Reds. Jack Buck and Jerry Coleman bringing you the action on CBS Radio. We'll always enjoy hearing from that duo. Here's the pitch. Swing! And a tip foul of the mid of Downing.
The way Pittsburgh's talking, that's going to be the final.
Well, they've got a big commanding lead, 2-0 over the Reds. At first, one man out. Here's a box to third again. Off the mound comes Offie, and he can't make the play. Beautiful pop by Bumbry.
Oh, they must know something about Don Offie's fielding. He got over there, tried to backhand the ball, and hit his glove and bounced out. He had no play, and then he wisely held onto the baseball. But Weaver will make his ball club do a lot of things. I know when they play the Yankees and Tommy John, Earl tries to make his ball club lay the ball down quite a bit. It's good when you've got a team that will listen to you.
And then go out and execute what you ask them to do.
That makes it better.
Here's the Kiko Garcia now. As the Birds are trying to battle back and increase their lead. They lead by 3, 9-6. Two bunts have put two Orioles on with a one away. Garcia swings and misses. That was sort of a lazy swing by Kiko. California's used Frost. Clear came on in the second, Ossie in the 8th inning. Now Ossie ready to work again. Delivers. Here's a bunt, and it is a foul at the plate. So they're still trying to bunt on the new pitcher. I've heard managers say, Bill, that even if a bunt doesn't work, it serves the purpose. It makes that pitcher think about it, for one, and it also makes him exert himself a little bit.
Yep, and it makes your infielders move around a little bit. Every step they come in, I always thought that it cut down maybe a step of lateral movement for them. Of course, here with 2 strikes, they can move back.
Kiko waiting with 2 on and 1 away. Here's a fastball that missed the outside corner. One ball, 2 strikes. That's the count on Kiko Garcia playing shortstop today. He's been a busy man out there with a glove. Swing and a foul at the plate. He was jammed with a fastball right at the hand. He gets a new baseball to work with. Kiko Garcia's had 10 chances out there at shortstop now. He's waiting on a 1-2 pitch. He's the batter at the moment with 2 on and 1 out. Baltimore leading 9-6 in the 8th. Don Ossie delivers. Here's a curve. It missed the outside corner. Ooh-hoo. Trying to chip it off that time. 2-2 the count on him. The number 3 hitter, Singleton, waiting at the on-deck circle for the Orioles. Here's the pitch. It's a strike. He looked at one too many. Got a breaking pitch over. And he is called out. LaRoche is throwing now in the California bullpen. That's off his first strikeout. They're 2 on and 2 out. And Singleton at bat, and it is urgent for California that they get this out. They are already trailing by 3. They've got one more shot at the bat against Baltimore pitching.
And Ernie, they're at the bottom part of their batting order. You mentioned that bottom part really has not done that much. In fact, the last 3 hitters have not gotten a base hit for the California Angels.
Well, Singleton up. They'll try to stop him now. And he swings and fouls it away over past the Oriole dugout, bouncing down into the left field corner. 9 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Baltimore. 6, 7, and 1 is the California total. Baltimore leading in the series, 1 victory to none. And these 2 teams head out of here tonight to Anaheim, California. They resume action. Tomorrow we'll be on the air at 8:15 from the Big A. 1 count on Singleton. And the pitch. He takes the strike on the outside corner. He sneaks the fastball over on Kent. Dempsey at second, Bumbry, the runner at first base, Carew playing behind him. Had a deep first with a left-handed batter up, and Singleton fouls it away. That came back and got Downing on the mask. Tanana and Martinez. Tanana, the left-hander. Denny Martinez, curve-balling right-hander for Baltimore. Strike 2 count on Singleton. Ossie pitches. It's the curve in close. He checked his swing. Martinez, Ernie, the only pitcher on the Baltimore pitching staff with a losing record. And he got a great start and then hit the skids a little bit toward the end of the year. He ended up winning 15, losing 16. Tanana plagued by arm trouble, but he came back and pitched well his last time out. Now the 1-2 pitch, Singleton takes it, is outside. 2-2. Orioles lead it 9-6. They've got 2 men on and 2 men out of the 8th inning. Couple of bunt singles setting up the scoring chance here in the Baltimore 8th. Singleton takes, strike, called, he struck him out. Oh, he doesn't believe it. He's talking to Ford now. Pleading with a plate umpire, but it's too late, the inning's over. Ossie gets the 2 strikeouts to check them off. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the 9th inning. Baltimore 9, California 6.
John Anderson had a fast lap of 161.493 miles an hour Thursday. That was about 3 miles an hour slower than pole winner Neil Bonnet to lead the second round of qualifications for Sunday's National 500 stock car race at Charlotte, North Carolina. Anderson Chevrolet will start in the 16th position in that $300,000 race at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The homecoming at Greater Pittsburgh International Airport was almost enough to delude the Pittsburgh Pirates into thinking they had the 1979 National League pennant already in the bag. Instead of the usual welcoming committee of a few weary wives, hundreds of screaming fans hailed the Pirates as conquering heroes upon the return Wednesday night from Cincinnati, where they had moved within 1 victory of their first pennant since 1971, with 2 extra-inning wins over arch-rival Cincinnati in that best-of-5 championship series. Although appreciative of the reception, the Pirates hasten to caution their fans that the pennant has not been won yet.
Hey, hasn't this been an exciting baseball season? And don't you wish you and your family got to see more games? How many times have you said, boy, I wish we had tickets to that game? Well, now's the time to do something about it. Now's the time to make sure you and your family don't miss out on next season's exciting game. Call your favorite team and ask about 1980 season tickets. I'm sure they'll have a ticket plan to fit your needs. Do it now and join the 43 million fans who enjoyed Major League Baseball at ballparks this year. Baseball fever. Catch it now for 1980. The proceeding has been brought to you on behalf of Major League Baseball. Well, Don Stanhouse out warming up. He'll have to pitch to the bottom part of the California Angel lineup, and it looks like we're going to get a few pinch hitters. I already see Larry Harlow with a bat. He'll evidently bat for Bob Clark here. Baltimore leading by 3, and Larry Harlow stepping up for Bob Clark. Ernie?
Well, Harlow was the starting left fielder in the opening game of this American League playoff last night, and he went 0 for 3, bounced to first, struck out twice, and grounded to shortstop. He's a former Oriole, left-hand hitter, and he'll be up there against the right-hander Stanhouse. Well, the California Angels need some instant runs here. They are trailing by 3, 9-6. It's the 9th inning. Miller will bat next. Then Ricky Vaughn is scheduled to hit third. Here's Stanhouse into the windup. Delivers. It is a fastball high and away. 9 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Baltimore. California, 6 runs, 7 hits, and they've made 1 error. Out outfield is straight up and deep. The infield back except DeCinces in close. Harlow takes it, is low. The fastball, 2-0. The right-hander serves again. This time it is low. 3. Stanhouse, the right-hander serves again. This time it is low. 3-0 on the leadoff man, Harlow. Batting for Bob Clark. Angels hoping to get something going here in the ninth inning. Trailing by 3. There's a walk, and Harlow's on. 4 straight pitches, putting him on base. Here comes Earl Weaver out. He's got a left-hander, Tippy Martinez, out there throwing. And probably Tim Stoddard. We can't see the right-hander. I believe it's Stoddard. They had been up earlier. And we mentioned how Stanhouse sort of gives Weaver fits. Normally, a relief pitcher's around the plate most of the time, but Stanhouse nibbles quite a fit, and he just walked Harlow, which is really a cardinal sin, walking the leadoff batter here with a lead in the ninth inning. But it happens. Well, the little manager's out there with his group. Umpire Ford wants to know what's going to happen. Are you going to stick with the incumbent, or are you going to bring in somebody else? Earl probably said, I haven't decided yet.
Well, it looks like he's going to spin and go back. He's just giving Martinez and Stoddard a little more time. Although they had been up throwing earlier.
Rick Miller will be the batter. Rick has gone 0 for 3 this afternoon. He's bounced to short, fly to left, and hit into a fourth out to shortstop. He hit the ball to the opposite field all 3 times, and all 3 of those trips were against the starting pitcher, the left-hander Flanagan. Now he's facing a right-hander. DeCinces in a little bit close at third. The other infielders are back. Murray will hold on the bag with Harlow over there first. The Angels have made a battle out of this one, no question about it. They trailed 9-1 at the end of 3 innings. Miller takes a fastball low, ball 1. Well, Earl Weaver calls this guy 2-pack. He might be calling him 3-pack.
He might be calling him something else if he walks his man.
Stanhouse moving around out there, not quite ready. Miller not getting out of the batter's box. He's waiting on the big right-hander to serve again. Here's the set by Don Stanhouse. He pitches, and it's a strike. He got the outside corner. And a derisive cheer goes up from the crowd here in Orioles Stadium. Harlow on first, and it is a 1-1 count on Rick Miller. Now he steps out.
So Stanhouse is doing what he did all season. He walked 51 and 72 in 2/3 innings. Only struck out 34, so he has been fairly wild coming out of the bullpen.
Most of the time, as you said, Bill, with the relief pitch, it's the other way around.
Yep.
The ratio is reversed. Miller back in the batter's box, and Stanhouse is going to make him wait a little bit. Here's the pitch. He swings. There's a chop at a second, maybe 2. Now to Garcia, 1. Relay to first. Safe at first. It was close. They did not get the double play. They get the 4th out. Jim Evans giving the palms down sign for the safe. As Miller beats the relay, but they got one of them.
And 39-year-old Willie Davis will bat for Dickie Thon.
Well, Willie was used as a pinch hitter last night. Linder, left-hand batter.
Number 24, Willie.
Bounced out last night, his only trip.
One of only 2 players, Ernie, to make the trip from the big leagues to Japan and back again.
Here's a guy who'll not only go far, but he'll come back. 1 on and 1 out. 9-6. Baltimore leading. It's the 9th inning. California struggling to stay in this one. We've had a walk and a force out here to start the ninth inning. And the slender left-hand batting Willie Davis takes the ball low. Fastball.
Davy Johnson did that also.
Willie batting out of a closed stance. They've got DeCinces in close at third. He's played in close on these left-hand batters. Here's a strike called on the pinch hitter. 1-1 on Davis. 9 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Baltimore. California 6-7-1. Flanagan and Stanhouse is pitched for the Orioles. The starter for California was Frost. Clear relieving him in the second, Opti in the eighth. Been a hitter's game. There have been 18 hits altogether, 15 runs altogether. Now Stanhouse taking his time. And the pitch on the way. Davis takes it outside. 2-1. Murray not holding on the bag. With the left-hand hitter up there, he wants to cut off that gap between himself and Dauer, the second baseman. He'll play wide of the bag. Checking his time with his catcher, Dempsey. Willie Davis waiting on a 2-1 pitch. Here it comes. He takes a low one. 3-1 on the Willie.
If he doesn't get him, I think he's going to be gotten out. Talking about Don Stanhouse. I don't think he can afford to allow him to miss too much. Weaver, though, is on the home plate umpire. He's yelling at Dale Ford. He thought that ball was down around the knees.
Up near that dugout step in the corner, and he's letting Mr. Ford have it. Now Davis is still waiting. He's very near the plate. He's up there about as close as Pat Kelly gets. Man out and the man out in the ninth inning. 3-1 pitch from Stanhouse, and he got that one in. Willie wanted to go to first base. He was ready, but the signal by Ford brought him back.
1 for you, 1 for me. Now we're all even.
All right, let's see what happens. It's 3-2. Davis getting back in. Stanhouse is still not ready. He's scraping around out there at the mound with his spike. 9-6, Baltimore leading, ninth inning. The Angels have a man out and the man out. 3-2 pitch to Willie Davis. He swings, and there's a loop in the left field. It might drop in. It will. Lowenstein chases to the corner. Rounding second and heading for third now is Rick Miller, and on to second goes Davis with a double. And that will bring the tying run to the plate.
And that is the best hitter in baseball, Rod Carew. Times in a situation like this, Rod will go on and try to hit the ball out. He has some power if he wants to use it. He can handle a bat just about any way he wants. He can go to the other way. If you throw that ball inside, he will hit the ball here. Can hit the ball out of here.
Man on second, man on third. 1 man out. Leadoff man Carew. He's had a double in 4 trips. He was safe on an error the last time. He's scored runs the last 2 times he's come to bat. And remember, he had 3 hits in the opening game last night. Facing the right-hander Stanhouse. That's the 8th hit for California. That slicing fly ball double off the bat of Willie Davis. Stanhouse not quite ready. Now he is. Here's the set. The pitch. Carew takes the ball outside. And Stanhouse wants a new baseball. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Baltimore leading, ninth inning, 9-6. The Angels trying to rally. They have 2 men on, runners at second and third. 1 man out, and Rod Carew waiting. The 1-0 pitch, swung on and fouled away. 1-1 on Rod. Lansford waiting on deck. Walk started this inning. Harlow walked, and he was forced at second by Miller. Miller took third as Davis sliced the double to left. on a 3-2 pitch. Now we're waiting on the 1-1 count with Carew. Carew swings. There's a chop hit on the ground towards second. Dauer charges to the first. He got him, and the run scores. Carew gets an RBI. It is now 9-7. There are 2 outs. A man at third, and Lansford the batter.
Well, you've got to admire the California Angels. They didn't quit. They could have given up in this ball game a long time ago. We said you got to get them a little bit of a time. They got 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and 1 here in the 9th. And Lansford represents the tying run at the plate.
And he's had hits his last 2 times at bat after going 0 for the first 2. And this big crowd on its feet now and cheering, trying to get that final out for the Orioles. 9-7. Baltimore leading. Lansford at the plate. And he takes a high one. Ball 1. They're playing him to hit the right. Well, that first pitch got in tight a little bit and high. They've made a battle out of it, no question about that. 9-7. Willie Davis is the runner at third base with 2 down. Stenhouse trying to get that final out. Take it into the clubhouse. Swing and a foul this way. 1-1 the count on him. Now Stenhouse wants another baseball. Anxious moments for Jim Fregosi. One and one, the count on Lansford. Stenhouse ready to go to work. The Baltimore crowd in an uproar. And the pitch. He takes the ball low. Good stop by Dempsey. 2-1 the count now. Has Mr. Weaver gone longer than you thought he would with Stenhouse?
I don't think so. I think he knows what Stenhouse has done. And we looked at the stats, and he had walked 51 men in 72 innings, 72 2/3 actually. So Weaver knows what to expect. He doesn't like it. But Stenhouse won 7 games, lost just 3 for him. It has a 2.8 ERA. So he's going with the fellow he thinks is his best pitcher in this situation.
2-1 count on Lansford. Don Stenhouse hurt of the deal again. Man at third is Willie Davis. There are 2 outs. There's a ball low. 3-1. Dan Ford waiting on deck. Baltimore leading by 2, 9-7, 9th inning. 2 down, a man at third. Here's Stenhouse to the set, the pitch. Swing, fly ball, short right field. Here comes Singleton, digging hard, and he can't get it. It comes in for a base hit. In to score comes Davis, and that is a 1-run lead now for Baltimore, 9-8. Singleton did not get a very good jump on that ball. He can't run too well, and he just didn't reach it. It dropped in front of him for a base hit, the 3rd straight hit for Lansford. Man at first now, 2 down in the 9th inning, and the Baltimore lead is cut to 1 run, 9-8. And the man who hit a home run in the first inning has gone 0 for 3 since then, is coming to bat. So it gets down to a confrontation between Stenhouse and Ford. 9-8, Baltimore leading. Man at first base. And the pitch to Ford is a ball outside. Lansford is a good base runner. Murray holding on the bag with him. Baylor waiting on deck. Baltimore, 9 runs, 11 hits. California, 8 runs and 9 hits. Outfield playing Ford to right. Stenhouse still trying to get that elusive final out here in Baltimore. There's a bounding ball, deep shortstop past Kiko Garcia, base hit. Lansford trying for third. Here's a throw. He's in safely, and on to second will go the batter. Ford goes to second. Lansford takes third. And the hitter now will be Baylor.
So John Lowenstein might have made a mental error there. Early, you try to keep that go-ahead run, the go-ahead run off of scoring position off second base. And Lowenstein came up throwing to third base, and that allowed Dan Ford to go on to second. And he represents the go-ahead run.
And the creeping terror has set in here now in Baltimore. Runners are at second and third with 2 outs. Baylor will not get a chance to bat. They will put him on with first base open. And 2 out, Earl Weaver does not want to pitch to the former Oriole Don Baylor. He's going to walk him. And that will bring Brian Downing to the plate with the bases loaded.
Well, Baylor's only been up one time in this ballgame with men on base, and he got a base hit and drove him in. So they're not going to give him a chance here. I wonder if Weaver wants to make a pitching change. He's got Tim Stoddard out there. It would have to be a right-hander. He's also got Tippy Martinez, a left-hander, but I'm sure that he wouldn't bring on Martinez to pitch to Downing.
Well, there's the fourth one, so Baylor walks, and that will load the bases. And Downing will be the batter. He's the 8th Angel to bat here in the 9th inning. They sent 7 to the plate in the 8th inning. They scored a run in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th. They've scored here in the 9th inning twice. The bases are loaded. Baltimore leading 9-8, and this has become a terrific battle. It was a one-sided struggle throughout the first part of the game, but it is turned around completely in the last few innings. Downing has a single for 3 and a sacrifice fly to get a run in the 8th inning. Right-hander against the right-hander. Here's a set. Here's a pitch. He takes. It's the ball low. Downing at bat. Lansford at third. Ford at second. Baylor at first base. All itching to come home. 9-8, Baltimore leading. 2 down in the California 9th inning. Swing a chop at the third base, should end the game. DeCinces makes the tag at third, and the game is over. DeCinces tagged the Ford coming down from second. The game is over, and Baltimore squeaks out with the victory. In the 9th inning for the California Angels, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 3 runners were left on, and the final score, the Orioles 9 and the Angels 8.
So 9 runs, 11 hits, and an error, as you heard, the winning line for the Baltimore Orioles. And I'll tell you something, that was not an easy victory. And manager Earl Weaver sticking in there with Stanhouse, and Stanhouse getting Downing, the best right-handed hitter in the American League, to ground out to end that game. He grounded into a force play, forcing out the runner coming down from second base. So the Baltimore Orioles, and I'll tell you, they were lucky to get away with this one after having a 9-1 lead in the 3rd inning. But the California Angels refusing to give up, and California almost able to pull it out in a 9th inning where they sent, I think it was either 8 or 9 batters to the plate in the 9th inning. So the Baltimore Orioles, the winners of Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. These 2 teams going into extra innings on Wednesday before the Orioles pulled it out in the 10th inning on a home run by John Lowenstein. But now it's the pitching which comes through for the Orioles. And I suppose some people may be asking manager Earl Weaver why he didn't go to the bullpen to Martinez. But Weaver's answer is going to be this. He's going to say, hey, we won the ball game. Why should we have had to go to the bullpen? I'll tell you, that's one thing for managers. Everybody's second-guessing them. Winning or losing, they're getting second-guessed. But nonetheless, a winning effort for Baltimore, and now a lot of pressure on the California Angels as this series will resume on Friday night at the Big A in Anaheim, where the Orioles will take a 2-0 lead. So both the National League and the American League Series with a possibility of going just 3 games. The Pittsburgh Pirates leading the Cincinnati Reds in the National League 2-0. Pittsburgh is going home to its home crowd, whereas Baltimore will take a 2-0 lead at Anaheim for the California Angels, hoping that they can pull this thing out. This broadcast was authorized under rights granted by California and Baltimore and was intended solely for the entertainment of the AFRTS listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and account of this game without the express written permission of the Angels and the Orioles is prohibited.